Hello, hello. Welcome back. Hopefully my model doesn't freak out too much. I'm sure you don't recognize me at all, but it's still me, it's still Aji. And I'm sure there's more people than, or new people rather. So just so you're fully aware, we are reading Sayane Uta, which is the most trigger happy gore visual novel ever. So you have been warned. Anyway. Stop staring at myself. Thank you. Am I laggy at all? It doesn't look very laggy on OBS at least, so I think it's okay. Yay! The mouth is so funny to me. Every time I laugh, it just goes insane. Alright. So, this is horror, gore, essay, disturbing imagery, all of the fun trigger warnings you expect to be in this 18 plus stream. Anyway, we're gonna start. We should hit an ending today, I think. We're gonna see. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize because my throat hates me today, and today is a day I'm supposed to be reading. All right. Let's see if I can't manage this without dying. Who are we? Whose perspective is this? Oh, this is Koji's perspective. Okay. Alright. The hands of his watch move with agonizing slowness, as though counting down to the end of the world. In the hours since contacting Ryoko, Koji went back to his apartment, showered, changed clothes, and even had his first full meal in days. He wanted to take a nap, knowing that he needed the rest, but no matter how hard he tried, sleep never came. Forcing him to relax only made his nerves colder and sharper. Yeah, he went through some shit in the last bit. With nothing else to do, he decides to wander the city until nightfall. Downtown Tokyo is bustling, surrounded by smiling pedestrians, bright lights, and windows decorated early for Christmas. Always. Even in other countries, always. He feels as if all the happiness in the world has been gathered in this very place. Well, maybe. Koji takes it all in, burning it into his memory like it's the last thing he'll ever see. In the world so beautiful because of the horrors that lurk within the... Oh, fuck. My brain cannot... This is why I read. Because I suck so bad. Is the world so beautiful because the horrors that lurk in the shadows? The glow of the city can no longer warm him, perhaps is why it seems so precious. Koji watches the city for hours. Feels unreachably distant, like reading the obituary of someone you loved long ago. I feel like he's gonna die. I'm worried that he's gonna die as well. I really hope not. His phone rings at 8 p.m. It's Ryoko. Their conversation is short. She hangs up as soon as they decide where to meet. And so ends Tono Koji's final night of peace. Yeah, we're definitely gearing towards an ending. Ryoko arrives at the diner at 1 a.m., 1 hour later than agreed upon. That seems about right. She has a heavy-looking duffel bag under her arm. Koji doesn't feel like asking what the bulges represent.
すまんね。いろいろと準備に手間取った。
Fair. Ryoko doesn't sound at all apologetic, but Koji decides to just nod expressionlessly. Only a few tables are filled at this hour, like lonely islands in the midst of a vast restaurant. After sending the bleary-eyed waitress away with an order for 2 coffees, Koji and Ryoko are left all alone in a corner of a dining area.
で、調べ物は終わりましたか?
Should mention this came out in the early 2000s, so smoking in a restaurant probably still okay at that point. I don't even know, actually. I know it's not in the US anymore, but it might still be a thing in Japan. You never know, I suppose. Smoking over there is kind of like a ritualistic thing, so it's not so much like it is for here. It's not as stigmatized. Anyway. Koji asked bluntly while sipping dutifully on his 3rd cup of watery, tasteless coffee. Ew.
待たせただけの甲斐はあると思いたいね。何分確証を得るまでには至ってないんだが。
文則も相当じれてると思います。こちらから連絡すると言ったきり、丸1日放置してますからね。
そんなにも彼は君との接触を意識してるのか?
Kinda.
さやっていう名前には露骨なほど反応してました。
In the silence that follows, Koji tries to soothe his parched throat with another mouthful of weak coffee.
そうか。やはりさやなのか。
はいはい。Oh, I can't catch Pokemon on OBS. I have to be on Twitch. Whatever. It's obvious that her grimace isn't for the coffee.
今なら、田んぼ先生はもう答えを知ってるんですね。さやというのが何なのか。
Do we know what Saya is? Ryoko tries to ignore Koji's question by nursing her coffee, but that only works until the cup is empty. Staring at the brown stain at the bottom of her cup, Ryoko says, her voice hard and flat.
君は私の忠告を無視した愚か者なわけだが、もう一度だけ証拠りもなく言わせてほしい。殿君、君は手を引いて全てを忘れるべきだ。
She's still trying to get him to fuck off. I guess that's fair.
証拠りもないですね。
Smiling bitterly instead of glaring at her like he did before.
俺がまだ先生や文則とは境界線を挟んだ反対側にいるとでも？
君はまだ一番致命的なものまでは見ていない。君にとってこの事件は無二の親友がいきなり正気を失ってに目覚めたっていうただそれだけの内容なんだろ。
Kinda. That's all? The things Fuminori has done are so horrifying that Koji's only recourse, his only hope of coping, is to kill the man who was once his friend. Yet despite that, Ryoko makes this nightmare sound like just the beginning. It kind of is. Kinda. Koji still doesn't understand where her morbid cynicism comes from, nor does he want to.
それだけじゃないとしたら、残りは先生の妄想なんじゃないですか。
そう思えるならまだ君の傷は浅いってことさ。
Her brusque tone says that she doesn't care whether or not Koji is satisfied with her explanation.
今ならまだ時間が君の傷を癒してくれるだろう。君は最後の一線を踏み越えていない。
Koji considers Ryoko's words calmly, without letting himself get emotional like before. The final line. True, Fuminori is somewhere beyond that. Although Koji has gone far enough to be willing to kill Fuminori, he has no intention of eating his enemy's flesh once dead. That at least still separates the two. Yeah, I'd hope not. Then what about Ryoko, who has treated Koji like an ignorant fool ever since she saved him from the well? How close is she to Fuminori?
先生の傷は俺よりも深いと。
In response to Koji's biting question, Ryoko mocking smile turns inward.
この銃はね、実家の父のものなんだ。
Oh, that seems irrelevant. Ryoko pats one of her duffel bag bulges.
こいつがロッカーから消えたせいで、父は責任を問われて地元の猟友会から除名させられた。申し訳ないと思ってるよ。私は両親にとっては自慢の娘なんだ。それが金庫の銃を盗み出すなんて想像もしてないだろ
う。Ryoko's an awesome character, by the way. She's just an awesome character.
そうするだけの必要が先生にはあったと。
いいや、全然。
I think that's relative. Her quick denial isn't what Koji was expecting, yeah.
その頃にはもう、鴎外のことは一見落着していた。少なくとも私はそう思っていた。奴は姿を消したきり、もう二度と私の前には現れないだろうと安心してた。この銃で何かを撃とうとか、殺そうとか、そういう必要があったわけじゃない。
じゃあなぜ？
眠れなかったんだよ。ただそれだけ。
What is that about? Ryoko pauses, perhaps needing time to decide how best to explain.
それまではベッドサイドにナタを隠しておいたんだ。夜一人で部屋にいるのが耐えられなくてね。
Well, she was definitely tripped out about something.
どんなに世界が底抜けにめちゃくちゃになっていこうと、悲鳴を上げて逃げ回る以外の選択肢が自分にはあるんだって。そう納得させるためにはね、部屋の中に何か一つ頼りになる武器を置いておきたかった。
So a sawed-off shotgun was the weapon of choice. Better than machete, for sure. Koji doesn't know what to say. He's amazed, impressed even that someone with such a serious case of delusional paranoia could function as one of T University's top doctors. Probably comes with the territory to a degree.
でも、それじゃ大した効き目はなかった。悪夢は日ごとにひどくなっていく一方で、安眠するにはナタじゃまだ足りなかったんだ。それで父の銃を盗んできた。こんな風に重心を詰めるとね、散弾がもっと広範囲に飛び散るようになって殺傷力が増すんだそうだ。アメリカでも重罪になる改造なんだとさ。私はそれをクローゼットの奥に突っ込んで、それでようやく眠れるようになったよ。
I love the preface for this sentence that's like, even in America, carrying a sawed-off shotgun is a crime. as if here you could just carry whatever fucking weapons you want.
3日に一晩ぐらいはね。
Oh, that face. At this point, Ryoko seems to have gotten everything off her chest, smiling like someone who just finished a hard job. She adds,
銃はいいよ、本当に。相手に向かってぶっ放すもよし、それでダメなら自分の口に突っ込んで引き金を引くっていう選択肢もある。
True.
先生は専門家の治療を受けるべきです。
Yeah, probably. She's a doctor at a college.
端的な感想ありがとう。でもね、君だって他人事じゃなくなるよ。これ以上先に進むんならね。
That's true. He's judging her without fully understanding the weight of the situation he's throwing himself into. Koji is already doubtful that meeting with Ryoko was the right thing to do. No, you're good. You're fine. The one thing that he and Ryoko have in common is an unwillingness to leave Fuminori to the proper authorities. Fuminori not only killed Koji's lover and friend, but even went as far as to defile their corpses. Koji isn't about to give him the chance to get off and then on an insanity plea. Yeah, alright. No matter what crimes he must commit, Koji will end Fuminori with his own two hands. If he doesn't, he knows that he will never sleep again. We're still in the I'm a naive bastard mindset, I think. It helps to have a partner in crime, but only when the partner doesn't cause trouble. Ryoko talks big about exposing Ogai's secrets, but she might just have a head full of delusions. If so, Koji needs to rethink this whole thing.
この先すべてを先生に任せるというのなら、先生のこと信用させてください。
Do you need to trust her for this? I think she's good.
先生をそこまで追い詰めるほどのものが、オーガイっていう男にあったという証拠を、彼が何をしでかしたのか、すべて俺に見せてください。
Okay.
そこまで言うかね、まったく。
Seems so. We're going all the way. Hi! You joined a terrible, terrible game. I'm not sure you'd be interested in this type of thing. Ryoko smirks and shakes her head ruefully, but puts up no further resistance. She pulls a stack of paper from her bag and hands it to Koji. The loose sheets are bound with string.
一行読んだら、続きは次のページの同じ行だ。まあ、触りだけでも読んでみるといい。
As directed, Koji looks through the handwritten pages and gives up after less than 3 minutes. Ah! Ow! Fuck! Bro! Thank you. That scared the ever-loving shit out of me.
Kaiki SF の走行か何かですか。罪のない悪ふざけですね。彼にはこんな子供っぽい趣味があったわけだ。
This guy, I swear. True. Well, horror story? Visual novel? I just kind of click the button and read the words. Alright. Koji deliberately scoffs at the document, doing everything he can to show contempt for what he just read. At the same time, he tries desperately not to remember the mountain of bones in Ogai's bathtub and the unidentifiable smell permeating Fuminori's house. That was definitely just bodies.
1年前、オーガイがうちの大学に持ってきた資料も、その文章と同じぐらい突拍子もないものだった。
Ah. Wait, he brought them to the hospital? That sounds like a horrible idea.
やつは大学の機材を無断で使ってこっそり検査をしようとしたらしい。
Okie dokie then.
だがドジを踏んで露見した。そこから先はもう大騒ぎでね。オーガイが使おうとした機材から察するに、やつはそいつを P3 レベルのバイオハザードとして取り扱うつもりだったらしい。
I mean, she's been killing and dissolving people and animals, so probably.
その程度の用心で十分だったのかどうかも知れたもんじゃないんだが。近隣の住民を退去させるべきだったんだが、まあそこは偉い人たちが偉い人なりに頑張って全部なかったことにしてくれたよ。その代わり私たちはキャンバス中のネズミを一匹残らず駆除する羽目になった。ネズミとかつてネズミだった何かをね。
Bro. After their first meeting, Ryoko brushed Koji off when he asked about Ogai Masahiko. Now, however, she's telling the whole story. Her voice is as flat and emotionless as a machine's.
事の究明には結局皆が匙を投げた。鴎外が持ち込んだ資料がどういう起源のものなのか誰にも突き止めることはできなかった。まあ結局みんな賢明だったわけだ。理性は理性、ざれ言はざれ言。そういう線引きを危うくしないで済む程度ってもんを心得ていた。
I think that's just a convenience thing, actually.
でもあいにく当時の私はそこまで賢明じゃなかった。
Fair, fair. I hate that face. Ryoko pauses for a moment, then grins with self-disdain, so maniacal that it strikes Koji like a blow.
あれこれ探って暴き出して、私は鴎外が何をしていたのか知った。
え？ Oh.
彼が関わっていた連中や彼をそそのかした連中も突き止めた。ナタと添い寝するようになったのはその頃からだ。
Yeah.
この世の理性ってものがどんなにタガの緩んだ穴だらけの頼りない代物なのか理解するようになったのはね。
Someone encouraged him to do this? Who? Why? As though fleeing from the quiet insanity that he keeps glimpsing in Ryoko, Koji finds himself paging through the loose leaves in his hand. He reads a line at random. The organism's flesh is not fibrous, but reticulated. Put simply, it is an extremely tough substance that expands and contracts not in one direction, but in all directions. This means that slashing or piercing damage has very little effect, since the flesh can contract in any direction freely. Any wound will be sealed instantly. Oh, so it's just fuck all when it comes to killing Saya, I guess. That does mean she was right about testing that wood axe on Yo. However terrible that would have been. She would have been fine. It's nonsense. What else can it be? If he lets himself believe it, then everything else, all the logical rules that define the world, will be rendered meaningless.
じゃあ先生は信じるんですね。この内容を。
疑う理由なんてとっくの昔に見失ったからね。
That is not a Pokemon I care about. Ryoko reaches into her duffel bag again, this time removing a stainless steel thermos that looks able to hold about 500 cc's of liquid. Where did I get a 3?
こいつが鞘を倒す切り札だ。調達するのに手間取ったが、多分こいつは敵面に効く。
Is it like a hydrochloric acid or some shit? I feel like that's the only way to kill this thing.
ついていけません。
Koji snaps, no longer able to disguise his frustration.
鞘が何だろうともうどうでもいいです。俺は文則を終わらせることができればそれでいい。
そうか。
Now that she's given up on persuading him, her ascent is swift and cold. At this moment, Koji's fate is likely ceased to matter to her.
いいだろう。君は先坂文則を仕留めるために全力を尽くすといい。君の邪魔はしないし、君が仕損じた時にはきっちりと私が帳尻を合わせてやる。
Despite the determination in her voice, Koji can't bring himself to trust this paranoid doctor completely.
あなたの持ち合わせている理由で文則を殺せるんですか？
This is just collateral at this point, right? Fuck.
潔癖症なんだよ、私は。ああやって人の世界の拉致外に隠れ住んでいるような奴らが。奴らは寝室のゴキブリだ。枕元でカサコサ這い回る音を無視して眠れるか。見つけ次第殺して駆逐する。そうせずにはいられない。私の精神衛生上の問題だ。
Her Her reasons are similar to Koji's own. He doesn't want to bring a murderer to justice, nor does he want revenge for Omi and Yo. If he did, he could have left everything to the police. The reason he can't is that the villain is Fuminori. The man he believed is his friend has turned his whole world upside down. Everything and everyone with a part in this madness is to blame, and that includes himself for allowing the betrayal. His self-loathing, his desire to destroy is what's keeping him on his feet.
さあ、それじゃあチェックメイトに駒を進めよう。咲坂君を呼び出すといい。
Koji nods, pulls out his cell phone, and calls his friend for what will probably be the last time. Alright. Pretty sure we're getting to the end of this. Call goes through quickly. Fuminori must have been waiting for it.
待たせたな、文則。こっちの準備は整った。
コージ、今どこにいる？
Fuminori must have been quite anxious to hear from Koji. His voice is hard and completely emotionless.
お前のすぐ背後とでも言っておこうか。
What a thing to say. Koji can't help but smile at Fuminori's disappointment. Perhaps Ryoko's maniacal sadism has rubbed off on him. I don't know. Kind of hard to wield it when you've been so naive this entire time.
で、筑波を解放する決心はついたのか？
ああ、背に腹は変えられない。
He's lying. Koji thinks, remembering the contents of Fuminori's refrigerator. Just what part of Yo did you eat, huh? Did you carve up that poor girl like a pig?
コージ、お前は集めた資料のすべてを証拠ともども持ってこい。その内容を見て納得できたら、僕ら
いいだろう。場所は？
まずは王線の Y 駅まで来い。そこでお前が一人なのを確認してから、詳しい場所を教える。
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
念の言った話だな。
妙な細工はなしだ。45分以内に来い。
I like how both of these men think that they have all of the power in this situation over each other. It's quite funny. Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response.
俺が単独なのを確認するまで居場所は教えないつもりみたいです。
ただの医大生にしちゃ心得てるな。感心だ。
Ryoko's praise sounds serious, drawing a glare from Koji.
私の車はここに置いていこう。殿君、君の車のトランクに人一人が入る隙間はあるかい？
大丈夫ですが。正気ですか？映画の見過ぎですよ。
If it works, it works, man. If it works, that is.
そんじょそこいらの映画よりは危険な冒険なんだよ、これは。
With those bold words, Ryoko grabs her duffel bag and raises from her seat.
で、この店を待ち合わせに選んだのは君だったな。
Yep.
そうですが、何か？
コーヒーの責任を取れ。
Yeah, that seems about right. Even after Koji arrives at Y Station as directed, Fuminori calls him and makes him change locations 3 more times. Koji is beginning to doubt that Fuminori is watching. He might just be using the time to guess when Koji arrives at the designated location. Nevertheless, Koji can't let his guard down. Fuminori might choose any moment to make sure that he's alone. If he makes some mistakes and puts Fuminori on alert, Ryoko will lose her chance to take him by surprise. She'll just have to put up with the cramped trunk for a while longer. Man, imagine being in this tiny ass like Honda Civic trunk. Sounds awful. Oh my. After the nature preserve and the dry riverbed, the 4th location to which Fuminori sends Koji is the thick forest at the top of the foothills, high above the developed area at their base. His car's GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori, there should be an old abandoned sanatorium there. The park and river were empty this late at night, but during the day would likely have considerable traffic. This time, however, his instinct is telling them that it's definitely a place that no one would find, not even by accident. It's kind of the point. I didn't drink enough coffee. It looks like this is the final stop. Koji drives up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighborhood behind. Even though the hands of progress are right at its doorstep, the underdeveloped forest is darker than he expected. It looks like a great place to live in secret or to kill someone and hide the body. Places like this, lost and forgotten, aren't found only in deep jungles and hidden valleys. Holes in the world are everywhere, even in the midst of civilization. Yeah, that's what Fuminori was trying to turn his house into. A broken down gate post suddenly appears in Koji's headlights like a ghost rising from the darkness. It looks like this is the final stop. He rolls up to the gate and turns off the engine, giving himself the silence of the forest. Oh, to the silence of the forest. His phone starts ringing almost immediately. He doesn't need to check who it's from.
着いたぞ。
ああ、聞こえてた。ようこそ我が新居へ。
Creepy. That's creepy as hell. Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shiver of excitement shoots up Koji's spine.
中に入ってこいよ。ようも待ってる。
We're excited now. Are they gonna show Yo half naked on the floor again? Am I gonna have to censor this? I thought we were done with that shit. Okay. Fuminori hangs up without another word. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket, Koji opens the door, making sure to pop the trunk at exactly the same time. Ryoko shouldn't need any more explanation than that. He's smart, at least. Realizing that the interior roof light will stay on and broadcast that his trunk isn't closed, Koji quickly unscrews the bulb. Huh? Whatever. Then gets out of the car and deliberately slams the driver's side door hard. The mountains of trash litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerators and mopeds to huge chunks of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction workers. The fact that they could get away with leaving all this stuff behind shows just how remote this place is. Yeah. Leaving behind a bunch of building materials seems like illegal shit. It's so much money. Glancing sidelong at the rear of his car, Koji sees no movement inside the barely open trunk. Ryoko knows what she's doing. She'll probably wait until Fuminori's attention is focused on Koji before making her move. The moon is brighter than usual, allowing Koji to walk through the front yard without tripping on debris. Staying alert, he heads for the building beyond the mountains of trash. Something must be buried underneath the piles of garbage because the whole yard is filled with the sharp stink of chemicals. Ew. Even the homeless probably wouldn't come to this place. If you need to get out of the wind and rain, there are plenty of shelters more suitable. Awful. When he reaches the gaping, doorless entrance to the building, Koji glances back the way he came. His car parked at the gate is hidden behind the mountains of trash. Even if Fuminori is watching from inside the sanatorium, he shouldn't be able to see Ryoko crawl out of the trunk. It looks like she'll get her chance to take him by surprise. How many times now has he stood like this alone in some ominously silent place far removed from his everyday life? Sneaking into deathly quiet houses to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. The houses that he explored before were like freshly shed. Oh my god! Were like freshly shed cicada shells, empty and dilapidated, but the traces of life they had, with the traces of life they had sheltered. This place, however, is different. A perfect ruin, its walls and pillars raising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts, with no sign at all that people once lived and worked here. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and the elements have stripped it of its former shape, and now there is only death. Koji has gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. How many times are we going to say that? How many times are we going to say this? What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji, but how? Just as he's about to turn the flashlight on, Koji reconsiders. If he wanders around with the light on, he'll be broadcasting his exact location. That will give the advantage to Fuminori, who's probably lying in wait for him right now. He holds the light before him in his left hand, with his fingers poised on the switch. And in his right hand, he raises the revolver, keeping it pointed in the same direction. Now ready to fire when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly into the dark ruin. It takes a while for his eyes to adjust. But even when they do, he has only moonlight streaming through through empty windows to guide him. Everything appears gray and indistant. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same conditions if he's hiding here. This is a battle of nerves, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound and give away his position will lose. I can't imagine. The rooms on both sides of the hallway are all open. Some are even missing their doors. Koji creeps to each entrance, checks to make sure no one is inside, then carefully proceeds on. The stink that he noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotting meat. It's the same smell that filled Fuminori's house. I mean, yeah, he's either eating people or he's eating animals, so it probably smells pretty similar. The organism's flesh freely expands in a manner that renders piercing damage meaningless. Koji grits his teeth and forces the madman's words out of his head. What good can come of taking them seriously? This isn't the time for such useless squish. Squish. Oh, there's a Wooloo. If another Eevee spawns, I'll catch it. Koji freezes and stares down the hall. It was a wet sound that he heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through a swamp, and it came from the room at the end of the hall. Something is there, something alive. Koji creeps towards the sound, his light and gun at the ready. Ugh. Ugh. Should I censor this? Do I need to censor this? Now it sounds like someone squeezing mud through their fingers. As he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for a chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. I feel like this is just Saya going to kill your ass. I don't know if I should censor this next panel or not. I feel like I should. Just in case. Just in case. Good thing my tails are big enough to censor the entire screen. As he proceeds, the strange sound coming through the cracks in the concrete walls grows clearer. Before he knows it, he's standing on the threshold. The room is filled with a thick, viscous darkness, just like every other room he's passed. There is more than just darkness, however. Something is here. He can hear pained breathing like that of a wounded animal and what sounds like sobbing. Okay, so Yo's probably in here. Sobbing?
誰だ?
Huh? Koji whispers into the darkness. Now that he's given away his position, he might as well turn his light on. For some reason, however, Koji feels that to do so would have disastrous consequences. Yeah, that's fair. The last time I heard her voice on the phone, she was sobbing. The wheezing suddenly stops. And then... Oh. I mean, there's Yo's voice. A whisper comes out of the darkness, though not human, not by any measure. It speaks some blasphemous semblance of human words. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dots in Koji's mind.
つくば
It's Yo! It can't be. Yo doesn't sound like this. She doesn't smell like this. Once again asking to be killed. But if it's not Yo, how does it know his name? Why is it begging for his help? No, it can't be Yo. She's human, not some creature that slithers and hides in the shadows. This is terrible, actually. It hurts. This body always hurts. Ugh. The thing wriggles closer. His reason cries out, imploring him to switch the light on before it's too late, or turn and run if he cannot. But Koji is unable to make either choice. He can only call out in vain to the amorphous shape in the darkness.
つくばなのかなあおい
I mean...
まさか
Something soft and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Ugh. Instinct overrides his will, forcing him to turn on his light and shine it at his feet. Oh, it's another one of these fucking things. Hold on. I love... Nope. It's like you timed him out for 500,000 seconds. Jeez. Huh. Nice. Anyway, I can't ban this person right now, I don't think. Yeah, it's literally a bot, so... Alright. Anyway, I'm still kind of waiting for Yo to show up because I kind of feel like she's going to here in a second. I'm a little worried. Just a little. Alright. Okay. The white beam reveals everything, the merciless truth that finally shatters Koji's sanity. Terror wipes his mind of all but two words, gun and trigger. His finger responds with instant obedience. There's an explosion of light and sound, both more intense than he anticipated, and then the destructive forces are swallowed up by the darkness. His ears are still ringing from the bang, but he hears a weak voice coming from the shadows. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Koji screams and pulls the trigger again and again, certain that salvation can only come from the barrel of his gun. Light and darkness, explosion and silence, they dance before him 3 more times. Koji doesn't even need to aim. The horrible creature is right at his feet, far too close to miss. Ryoko warned him how many bullets were left in the gun, but that information has already been driven far from his mind. Yikes. Koji keeps pulling the trigger like a man possessed, paying no heed to the clicking of the empty weapon. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, sending him down hard on his backside. Even then, he keeps firing the empty gun. He knows no other way to erase the memory of the thing that he glimpsed in the beam of his flashlight. Ugh. The light, which fell from his hand during the attack, is now pointing in a different direction, and though all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last card to play, which leaves him alone in the darkness with no way to defend himself. And just as he realizes this... Oh, God, the fucking sounds. A mass of rotting flesh rolls over him like a tidal wave. Jesus. He can no longer even scream as the thing pushes him onto his back. Fear seizing his throat in an iron grip, Koji struggles desperately against the monster as it crawls up his body towards his face. Covering his face with his left hand, he scrambles wildly along the floor, with his right searching for a way out that doesn't exist. His mind is that of a feral animal, empty of everything but primal terror. I guess they decided not to show her, because she's just a mass of, like, gore. Which I could move out of the way, I think. And I think we're safe. I think. I don't think there's any more H scenes happening. I'm pretty sure they're done. And that is why when his right hand closes around something hard at the last moment, he recognizes it instinctively as a weapon. Putting every ounce of strength in his arm, Koji swings the heavy object at the creature on top of him. He hears the thud of a blunt object striking something soft and wet, and then Koji's attacker rolls off him. As soon as he's able to move again, Koji leaps to his feet and grabs his new weapon with both hands, brandishing it like a charm to ward off evil. Only now he realizes that he's holding a rusty steel pipe. The monster is still sobbing. Please don't show her. Okay. With a cry that is part scream, part roar, Koji raises the steel pipe and brings it crashing down on the cowering creature. He hears a wet sound and feels the blood-chilling sensation of its thick, soft flesh absorbing the blow. These combine to evoke an instinctive loathing that wipes his mind of all but the urge to destroy. So it's like what happened with Suzumi, where like you're just completely devoid of reason. Consumed by the same desperation with which he kept firing the empty gun, Koji rains blow after blow down on his enemy. After the 10th blow, it stops sobbing. After the 20th blow, it stops moving. And after the 30th blow, it begins to feel and sound more like he's beating a puddle of viscous liquid. Ugh. Koji doesn't stop thrashing the creature until he recovers enough of his senses to realize whatever it might have been before, it is now nothing but a corpse. The pipe in his hand, covered with unidentifiable fluids and filth, suddenly feels unbearably heavy.
君はまだ一番致命的なものまでは見ていない。
Ryogo's voice plays back in his head, and at last he knows how merciful her warning was. Now that his eyes are open as hers, he is able to laugh in contempt of his own foolishness. Yes, you were naive this entire time. 20 years of memories in the light of the sun were, if they were indeed precious to him, then he should have never come to this place. The black flames of despair rise within him, consuming fear and revulsion and pity. Only rage and hate remain. Every cell in his body cries out for vengeance, for the blood of the man who poisoned him with truth and tore him from the womb of innocence. And then Koji, slave to hate, hears the sound of someone sneaking up behind him. Koji whirls, swinging his pipe with all the force he can muster. His enemy hastily leaps back to avoid the strike, surprised by his failure to catch Koji off guard. Twisted shadows dance in a beam of the light on the floor. Readying his pipe for the next blow, Koji faces off against his second attacker.
Sakisaka. Fuminori.
Probably. Before this moment, Koji could have never imagined that he would ever speak his friend's name with such hatred.
おいおい
Ew.
今の一振り
the
まるっ
way
きり手加減抜きかよ
the way he's drawn here. Alright. Hey, that was a pretty heavy swing just now. You trying to kill me or something? Don't be snide, you dick. Even now, Fuminori is smiling, as though the huge axe in his hands is just a sick joke.
参ったな。正直なとこ、お前はもう少し迷うもんだと思ってたんだけど。
Yeah, Saya said you shouldn't rely on that. And you shouldn't. You never know how people will react when they're backed into a corner. Everyone's different.
迷うだと？俺が？貴様に？
Yeah. Koji sneers too, unable to contain his contempt for the notion.
貴様、近江をどうした？筑波に一体何をした？それを考えてもまだ俺が貴様を殺すのに迷うだと。
Well then.
そいつは言いがかりのつけ方が逆だろ、コウジ。
Fuminori growls, looking sadly at the pile of dead flesh at Koji's feet.
コウジの分際で僕の世をひどい目に遭わせやがって。世の10倍は痛めつけてから殺してやる。覚悟しろ。
Oh my. The blade of Fuminori's axe carves a murderous arc through the darkness, glittering menacingly in the faint light coming from the floor. Koji raises his pipe to block the ferocious swing. The heavy impact numbs his arms, but his large frame takes the blow without giving any ground. Fuminori presses the attack, delivering a second blow and a third. His axe, designed for chopping down trees, is deadlier and more durable than a piece of pipe Koji found discarded on the floor. Each strike Koji blocks sends chunks of rust flying from his makeshift weapon. He can't win as long as he's on the defensive. He needs to create an opportunity to attack.
Come on!
Koji blocks a crushing downward swing, then pushes back hard before Fuminori can pull away, throwing him off balance. Fuminori stumbles backwards and plants his feet to steady himself. Wait, what is it? Can I have this one? I want this one. Anyway. Taking advantage of his opponent's temporary immobility, Koji delivers a punishing low kick to Fuminori's outer thigh. Fuminori grunts and retreats, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji from following up with another attack. Koji, however, does not press his advantage. He just stands where he is, calmly spearing Fuminori with his stare.
お前、喧嘩に慣れてねえな。
I mean, probably not, right? Fuminori roars and comes in for another attack, but the damage to his right leg seems to be slowing his swing. Easily blocking the axe with his pipe, Koji waits for Fuminori to exhaust himself. Oh, yay! I caught a Pokemon! He totally doesn't disrupt this tense moment that's happening here. That's fine. Fuminori delivers blow after heavy blow, howling savagely all the while. What he does not realize, however, is that the situation now favors composure, not brute force. Fuminori raises his axe high for yet another attack. Koji sees that his movements have grown dull enough. Seizing the opportunity, Koji charges into Fuminori's range and grabs the haft of the axe? Is that supposed to say shaft? And this is a typo in my visual novel? Is that what I'm seeing? Alright. The shaft of the axe with his left hand. Interrobang. As Fuminori recoils in fear, Koji swings his pipe hard at his enemy's unprotected side. Ugh. He feels the crunch of ribs breaking. Ugh. Yikes. These noises also. The pain drives Fuminori to his knees, staring down at Fuminori's defenseless head. Koji, surprised by his own lack of emotion, raises the pipe high to deliver the finishing blow. which is when something wrapped itself around his ankle. Yeah, Saya has arrived. Player 2 has entered the battle. The instant Koji panics at the unexpected sensation, something soft yet strong winds itself around his right leg and drags him to the floor before he can resist. He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at an unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand too is seized by the same flexible force. He wasn't able to feel it through his pants, but now his blood turns to ice at the cold, slimy sensation of the thing wrapped around his uncovered wrist. Yuck. Yucky, yucky, yucky. Yuck. The monster's still alive?
いいぞ、さや。
Fuminori says encouragingly. Even while kneeling on the floor, his face twisted in pain, he manages a terrible, victorious grin. Saya. This monster is Saya. Koji struggles desperately to free his limbs from the creature's slimy grip. But more tentacles swarm over his body, stealing his freedom of movement. The horror has already driven Koji half mad. Just imagining the creature's appearance is enough to send him into a mindless panic. His scream is suddenly cut off as a slimy appendage seizes his throat. This most deadly tentacle isn't just cutting off his windpipe, it's trying to snap his neck, and it's getting tighter. Koji is certain that this is the end, but just as his vision begins to dim, an explosion brings him back to his senses. Oh! Saya got shot! With a horrifying, inhuman scream, the creature releases Koji and retracts its tentacles. The first thing he sees after regaining his mobility is Ryoko running down the hall with a smoking shotgun in one hand and a silver tube in the other.
Sensei!
Ryoko responds by tossing him the tube. Though still lying on the floor, he manages to snatch it out of the air. It's the thermos she showed him at the restaurant. The one she called her secret weapon.
そいつの中身を奴にぶちまけろ!
At the same time, she aims her gun at Fuminori, who's still on his knees 5 paces away. The double-barreled shotgun still has one shot loaded. The monster that attacked Koji is writhing in agony. It hasn't yet recovered from Ryoko's shot. Well, I mean... Oh, hi, Mochi! Thank you! Sorry, I was very engrossed in the story. I don't know how long ago you sent that message. Oh man, need more coffee. Alright. Enjoy is not the word I would use for this. It is interesting though. He's already seen that bullets are enough to kill these creatures. Now is his only chance.
貴様ら、何を
Imagine. No, Sayano Uta is not an enjoyable visual novel. I would not classify this as any kind of enjoyment. It is 100% an interesting story. That's fine and all, but it is not enjoyable in the least. If you watched any of the previous streams, there's so much I had to like live censor from just like random H scenes to too much gore on screen. There's just a lot. And it has like every trigger warning you could imagine attached to it as well. So my stream is not for children. Fuminori growls, gritting his teeth against the pain of his broken ribs. Okay, so he did break his ribs. Forcing himself to be calm, Koji stands and carefully unscrews the lid of the thermos. There's no question in his mind that something extremely potent is inside. It's gotta be acid, right? Oh. As soon as it is unsealed, a thick white mist pours out of the thermos and the surrounding air turns freezing cold. Instantly guessing what's inside, Koji lobs the thermos at the pile of flesh convulsing on the floor. Oh, it's dry ice. The thermos sails through the air, spewing white fog like a baptismal font showers its liquid contents upon. Okay, that sentence was just fucking what? What did I just read? Whoa! What a sound! Its scream this time is incomparable to before. The monster crashes in agony. Wreathed in white smoke, its screams are joined by Ryoko's cackling. That fucking
どうよ
face!
マイナス197度だよねえ冷たい熱いざまあないわね
Perhaps the joy of vanquishing her nightmare was worth the last remnants of her sanity. The manic glee blazing in her eyes can belong only to a shattered mind.
貴様貴様ら
I'm sorry. I can't take that seriously. What the fuck? Fuminori staggers to his feet, roaring black curses. Okay. His rage seems to have drowned out the pain of his broken bones. Ryoko is not one to underestimate the threat posed by his axe. Her mad laughter fades away, leaving only a cold smile as she pulls the trigger. With a short burst of black flame, Ryoko's gun sputters and dies. Oh. Is that a plot contrivance I see? Ryoko is not an expert on firearms. It never occurred to her that the gun shells need proper storage. And besides, she always expected that any situation where her gun would be necessary would also be one that she would not survive. That's a fair assumption, but what the fuck? Cursing in anger and dismay, Ryoko breaks the shotgun open and awkwardly pulls the dud out. Meanwhile, Fuminori stalks toward her like a vengeful demon, the head of his axe screeching as it drags along the floor. I have to stop him. Koji tries to charge Fuminori, but only succeeds at sending himself sprawling. One of his shoes is stuck in the floor, frozen by the liquid nitrogen. Oh, it's liquid nitrogen. Why did I think it was dry ice? It's way colder. I guess that makes sense though if you can't like shoot it to death. I mean, you can beat it to death though. But liquid nitrogen's probably quicker. As Ryoko fumbles in her pocket for a new shell, Fuminori closes the distance and raises his axe in both hands. Koji curses and rips his shoe free of the frozen concrete, but he knows that he'll never make it in time. Ryoko thrusts a new shell into the chamber of her shotgun and snaps it closed, then looks up to find her target. Fuminori is right before her, too close to evade, and his axe is already crashing down, with the wind howling in its wake. The sounds of bone shattering, tendons snapping, and flesh tearing blend together in foul harmony. More sound. A thick blade enters Ryoko's left shoulder, plowing through her collarbone and shoulder blade, smashing several ribs and popping her lung like a balloon before stopping in the center of her chest. Her expression frozen by the shock of the impact, she sprays a geyser of blood from her mouth. Ugh. Shotgun? She should have died instantly, but through some unimaginable force of will, Ryoko clings to life for a few seconds more. Grinning through the bloodstained lips, she raises her shotgun. Oh shit! That is an insane image right there. It's a very crazy image. Not to the front, but to the side. Beyond the barrel of her gun, wearing the 77-degree Kelvin mist like a white cloak of death, is the weakly wriggling Saya. Fuminori's screams vanish into a roar of the shotgun. The destruction is absolute. The impact of the shotgun pellets obliterate the half of Saya's body that fell prey to the liquid nitrogen. The frozen particles of Saya's shattered flesh drift to the floor like snow. Even the creature's special biology is insufficient to seal a wound of this size. From the opening pour its internal organs, its height of liquid, slime, and fat whose color is far too foul to belong to any living creature. The monster convulses, wailing in a weak, pitiful voice.
Saya.
With his axe still buried in Ryoko's body, Fuminori stares at the dying creature, his expression utterly devoid of emotion. Koji grabs his pipe and prepares to attack Fuminori from behind, but freezes when he sees the emptiness on his face of the man he hated. Fuminori pulls his axe out of Ryoko's corpse and then looks at Koji with glazed eyes. There is no recognition in them, nor hate nor rage. When Koji meets Fuminori's blank stare, he knows there is nothing left in him to kill. Oh, this man did. I swear Saya has some kind of mental thing she does to people. And that's why he was so, like, even though she kept probing him, like, are you sure this is what you want? Are you sure you want to stay with me? Are you sure you don't want to be normal again? Yada yada. Like, I feel like even if she asked all those questions, she still had some kind of say in how he made the decision. Even though one of those decisions was, in fact, mine. That I get to click the button. But I still believe that she has some kind of, maybe not magic, some kind of biological spell of some sort. I don't really know how to describe it. She's not a human, so she's like a force of fucking nature. Fuminori grips the axe closer to its head and raises it high, the blade toward his face. Koji doesn't know whether he should interfere, but even if he wanted to, what could he say to stop Fuminori? Fuminori pulls his head back slowly, then drives his face into the blade of the axe like a spring-loaded toy. Ugh. Ugh. His skull caves in with a dull, wet sound, and the spray of blood catches Koji in the face. Despite Fuminori's utter lack of hesitation, his first attempt at suicide succeeds only in transforming his face into a hash of crimson. Puchiana? Chat. Sound is wetter than before. Fuminori's body goes limp, then tumbles face first to the floor. Koji stares at the two mangled corpses for a while. He feels completely left behind, like he can't remember why he's standing in this place with a steel pipe in his hand. Stale air filling the ruined building becomes choked with the stench of blood, and the crimson puddles gradually spread across the snow-covered floor. Yet the tranquility of the scene makes it seem like a painting. A soft, slimy sound breaks the silence. Koji looks at the mortally wounded monster. The creature is on death's door, but even so, it moves. Slowly, feebly, it drags its broken body through the sea of blood. It's coming for Fuminori. Koji had forgotten his anger, but now it comes surging back at full force.
Shineo.
He growls and stabs the monster with the end of his pipe. It convulses in agony, but keeps crawling towards Fuminori. Koji explodes into a frenzy of rage.
Shineo! Mo shindero yo! Koreijou Fuminori ni tsukaeru n ja ne yo!
Again and again, he smashes the helpless flesh piece with his pipe. Something tells him that if he does not stop it here, he will truly have lost. The monster, however, never succumbs. He struggles on beneath his blows until it finally reaches Fuminori's corpse.
Sawaru na! Fuminori ni sawaru na! Temei wa nani sama natten da yo!
Fish! Koji keeps swinging his fury unabated, even as tears start to pool in his eyes. The monster's slime flies through the air, joining with the blood already covering his face. The creature extends one thin, trembling tentacle to touch Fuminori's shoulder, then lovingly caresses his blood-stained cheek. And then it stops moving. Even in its final moments, the monster would not let go of Fuminori. It died joined with him. At last, Koji knows that the world he loved is gone forever. Whoa! Whoa!
ねえねえ、今度のスキーだけどさ、今年はどっかスケートも遊べるところにしない？
What is this? Chunks of her body are missing as though something's been nibbling on her. It makes her look a lot thinner. She's been worried about her weight recently and now she shouldn't need to diet.
そういえばオミってこの間初めてスケートやったんだって？
I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. Fuminori laughs at Omi's crazy suggestion. He sounds amused, but it's hard to tell from his expression since his face has been cleaved in two by an axe.
20歳になって初体験ってのは興味そうそういないんじゃないかな。
子供の頃はなんとなく怖かったのよ。あの靴、なんだか刃物みたいで。
うん、わかる。あの靴で顔を蹴られたらきっと僕みたいになっちゃうよね。
Omi and Yo laugh at Fuminori's dumb joke. Yo never used to laugh with such exuberance. She seems truly happy now that she and Fuminori are officially together.
でも、いきなり蹴って殺せたの？オミちゃん、すごくない？
容量はバットとそう変わるもんじゃないからな。思い切り振り回して斧頭の重さに任せて叩きつける感覚とか。
I feel like this is a fuck up right here. Because Omi didn't kill herself. This should definitely say, like, Fuminori here or something.
海のりにそう言われたもんだからさ、騙されたと思ってやってみたわけよ。そうしたらもう楽しくって。
Ah, I see. Okay, I understand. What is this feeling? Something is wrong. Though Koji can't put his finger on what.
私も見てみたいな。オミちゃんが食べられるところ。
Me too. Ah, that's it. When he sees Yo's envious smile, Koji finally realizes what's bothering him.
なあ、つくば。
どうしたの、コウジ？
お前だけなんで普通なんだ。
Yo tilts her head quizzically, like she doesn't understand what he means.
普通って？私はいつも普通だけど。
でもお前、確かあの時。
ああ、
You had turned into a flesh creature. I then beat to death with a pipe.
なんだ、私がコウジ君と違う姿になってた頃のこと？ずいぶん昔の話じゃない。
昔なのか？
Maybe.
そうだよ。だってコウジ君も今じゃ私たちの仲間じゃない。
ああ。
Of course. Koji looks down and is satisfied to see wriggling tentacles where his arms and legs should be. When he opens his eyes, his mattress and pillow are soaked with sweat. It's always the same nightmare. He doesn't know how many times he's had it, but at least he's not leaping out of bed screaming anymore. He sits up, clutching his throbbing head. It's 4 in the morning. He hasn't had nearly enough rest, and he probably won't be able to get back to sleep tonight. Time for a smoke. A full pack will last him until dawn. Now, where did he put the pack he bought yesterday? Koji wanders sleepily into the den, where yet another old friend is waiting for him.
ひどいありさまだね。まったく。
ああ、先生。いたんですか？
This poor fucking guy. All his friends died, and he got left alone to live in this PTSD hell. Ryoko's chopped up corpse is sitting on at his dining table, looking as deathly pale as ever as she sips coffee from a mug.
毎晩ずいぶんと辛そうじゃないか。 ろくに眠れてないんだろ？
そうでもないですよ。薬を飲めば割となんとかなります。まだ。
Hallucinations like these are easier to deal with than elaborate nightmares like the ones he just had. They should probably worry him more, though. Yeah.
あの時私の忠告を聞き入れてれば、ここまで追い詰められることなんてなかっただろうに。
もうやめましょうよ、それは。過ぎたことじゃないですか。
Ryoko chuckles, smiling the same cruel, manic smile that she used to when she was alive. Her left arm hangs from her half-severed shoulder, dangling like a forgotten wind chime.
そう。結構折り合いをつけてるんだ。
先生だってそうだったんでしょう。普段は優秀な脳外科医で通用してたんだから。
上辺だけ取り繕うだけなら、そんなに難しいことじゃないからね。
The corpse shrugs her intact right shoulder and grimaces in disgust as she takes another sip of her coffee.
でもね、多分この先はもっと悪くなるよ。心の傷は時間が癒してくれるけど。君はまあ、言ってみれば、毒に感染したようなものだから。
She's probably right. Everyone dreams at night. No matter how dim the memories may get, the nightmares will always be here to tear into Koji with fresh fangs. The insanity that has taken root in his heart will grow, eventually consuming everything that's left inside of him.
俺の場合、先生っていう前例を見て学んでますからね。抜かりはありませんよ。
へえ、そうなの。
I guess. I don't know if he learned a damn thing. Koji nods, smiling confidently, then stands and walks to the bathroom where he retrieves the weapon that he keeps hidden behind the mirror. Ogai's revolver. The one souvenir that Koji brought back from the other world that night.
ものすごい苦労したんですけど、結局、ようやくその筋の人と渡りをつけましてね。弾も買ってあります。驚きましたよ。銃そのものより高いなんて。
I can.
おやおや。
In the mirror, Koji sees Ryoko in her axe-afflicted gash reverse. She raises her mug in a toast to Koji's resourcefulness.
で、何発買ったわけ？
一発だけです。
Just one. Yeah, that makes sense. When it gets to be too much, it's time to just end it all. This time, it's Koji who shrugs his shoulders. He uses both, exercising his privilege as a survivor.
それ以上必要になるような状況は、俺は願い下げなんで。
The corpse in the mirror nods sagely, her smile approving.
ほんと、わきまえてるんだね、トノオくん。
Yep. His brain crossed over. There's a brief silence. Koji doesn't really feel like getting all melancholy with a dead woman.
ねえ先生、いい加減ファミレスのコーヒーはやめましょうよ。なんなら新しいの入れますから。
When Koji turns around halfway through his sentence, he realizes that the room is empty, but for the silence of the night. Yeah. And so Koji returns to the world of the sane. He lights his first cigarette of the night and takes a deep drag. While sitting alone in his den, puffing on his smoke, he stares at the gun in his hand. He knows just how precarious a cliff he's standing on. The final line of which Ryoko spoke is now one step behind him. Koji no longer has anything to protect his soul. Now that Ogai Masahiko's fantasies and Tombo Ryoko's delusions have all become tangible horrors, he knows what insanity and despair truly are. Back in the real world, I hate his name. I hate it. Sakisaki Fuminori. Again, I fucked it up again. It's Sakisaka. Fuminori is wanted for several gruesome murders, I would hope. Didn't take long for someone to discover the stockpiles of human meat in the empty Sakisaka and Suzumi homes. In the two refrigerators were found the remains of Suzumi Yosuke, his wife and daughter, and Takahata Omi. They found the clothes and other effects of Tsukuba-yo, but were unable to locate any trace of her among the various body parts. A fact that made Koji's nightmares all the more vivid, yeah. Dr. Tambio Ryoko of T University Hospital vanished mysteriously around the same time. Because she was Fuminori's chief physician, the police have been investigating her connection to his crimes. As for the 2 corpses secretly buried in the backyard of a certain ruin, well, they'll probably never be found, and this incident will become just another cold case. Koji alone knows what really happened, and he has no intention of revealing it, not now and not ever. Yokai's writings were not nonsense, which means that everything else was. What fool was it who said that men are the lords of creation? Those who can believe in paltry things like human wisdom and valor are those lucky innocents who have not looked into the abyss. Koji can no longer share in their blessed ignorance. He knows, and he has been defiled by insanity called truth, and he will never believe again. If he has been poisoned, as Ryoko's ghost said, then the poison is none other than the truth itself. Just as pure oxygen is harmful to the body, the naked truth has the power to destroy men's minds. Only by diluting it with lies and taking it in small doses can humans maintain a healthy soul.
どんなに世界が底抜けにめちゃくちゃになっていこうと。
Words once spoken by the living Tambo Ryoko passed through Koji's mind.
悲鳴を上げて逃げ回る以外の選択肢が自分にはある。
Yeah, now it feels very prophetic. That, without a doubt, was the comfort that she kept hidden in her bosom, the only thing that allowed her to face her dreams each night. Koji has taken his predecessor's lessons to heart. He's prepared for anything. One bullet is always behind the bathroom mirror, promising him salvation. That's our first ending! Yay! Thank you, Gin Urobuchi, for that, I don't know, not enjoyable story, that's for sure. What? The voice actor for Fuminori is just called Hikaru. Okay. We're gonna skip these, obviously. And I think I can go back and get another ending right now since we still have time to do so. I think. Yeah. So we're going to go back here. Are these the same save? They sure are. All right. So for this one, last time we called Ryoko first, and then we called Fuminori, I believe. So I think in order to get the next ending, you have to forego calling Ryoko, and then you just get fucked over. Let's see if I can't I just want to make sure that I don't Okay, so the ending we got just now is called World Sanity, which is Koji's path, which is Koji surviving and killing Saya, ending the nightmare, but he loses his fucking mind in the process. So, alright. So, let's see. Actually, I think this is the true ending. Let's go back to the load screen. I'm gonna have to censor this screen, actually. Alright. So we're gonna go back to the very first decision that we made, which is to choose to have Saya fix our mind or not. And this time we're gonna choose to have her fix. Alright, so we're gonna say I want it all back instead of I don't need it anymore.
そりゃもちろん戻れるっていうのなら元に戻りたいと思う。
I mean, there's nothing on screen right now, but I don't know what's happening. But we'll just see if it's safe. Because this is really early. Well, I say it's really early in the story. It's not like hella early in the story, but it's early enough, right? Well, of course, I answer without thinking. If it's possible to go back, then I want to, I think. I never wondered if there could be any other answer. I stopped dwelling on the question a long time ago, and if I'd been asked before I met Saya, I wouldn't have hesitated. But what about now? What does it mean to wish for the past, and what could it mean to me and Saya? As soon as these questions occur to me, my true feelings become unclear. The hurried answer that I gave her was less certain than I thought. Oh, fuck. Alright.
そう
I hate that.
うん
I hate that
そう
so
よね
much.
当たり前よね
Thank you. Get off my screen. Alright. Oh yeah, of course you would. Saya smiles softly, her expression an unreadable mixture of what seemed to be sorrow and relief. Seeing it fills me with sudden unease, as though I've just wounded her deeply with my careless words.
なさや、僕は
いいの文則もう何も言わないで
She says it's okay. Saya silences me with another kiss. I begin to feel an urgent need to say what she prevented me from saying, to speak those most important words.
さや
Can't speak for some reason. My mind is hazy. My consciousness slipping away as the euphoria from her kiss spreads through my entire body. I think she already changed him.
おやすみなさい
Hmm.
文則
I hear Saya whisper softly from far away.
心配しないで次に目が覚めるときには何もかもが終わっているから
Okay. Don't actually know what happens from here, obviously, because I haven't gotten this far with this ending. Wait, I have to tell you something before I sleep. Just one thing. My efforts are meaningless, however, as oblivion calls me into its embrace. Blood. Oh, it's a normal-looking house, though. When I when I awoke, the first thing that greeted me was a terrible stink. Mr. Suzumi's body was covered in flies, and I could smell the rotten stench that you would expect from a corpse. The night had ended, but Saya was nowhere to be seen in the morning light. Aside from the blood-covered floor, the kitchen looked the same as it had before the accident. In the den, however, the colors had been so soothing the day before, now served as a stark reminder of what distant world I'd been living in. Yeah, it looks insane in there. Despite knowing that it would be futile, I wandered the house searching for Saya for almost an hour. I tried in vain to deny reality. We're normal again, though. As became clear later, Mr. Suzumi had murdered his family before I killed him. Unable to give the police a satisfactory explanation, I was arrested for all 3 murders. And when they found the remains of Takahata Omi in my house, a 4th was added to the charges. During my interrogation, I told them everything exactly as it had happened, in every detail. The detectives didn't believe me, of course. The doctor who came later did. He had me moved from the jail to a much cleaner white room. That's right. The room looks just as white to me as it does to everyone else. In the end, they declared me incapable of answering for my actions. Everything that had happened to me was real, but part of a reality incompatible with the rest of the world. So the doctors gave me a space all to myself, a place where I could live in my own world. I am sad that I wasn't believed, but I know that it couldn't be helped. In this world, reality is what the majority says it is, and I had the misfortune to step outside that box. The walls of my room are undeniably white. That, at least, I can be thankful for as I live out the rest of my life here. Everyone said that there was never any girl named Saya. Well, so be it. Saya probably was never a part of their world. But why shouldn't I be able to hear Saya's voice here in my room? This is my world after all, a continuation of the very real time that we spent together. How long did I wait with such thoughts floating in my mind? One night I awoke to the sound of something crawling down the hallway. The sound would not normally have awoken me, but I must have had a premonition that night. Sleeping lighter than usual, I waited for her arrival, and I knew instantly that it was her.
サヤなんだね。
Well, he's not going to see her as a human being anymore, so... She did not answer, but I could feel her outside my door, struggling with some internal conflict.
なあ、どうして声を聞かせてくれないんだ。
After a long silence, something small slid through the narrow bars of my peephole. A phone? It was a cell phone, the screen already showing a notepad with a freshly entered text. My voice will sound strange to you. I couldn't suppress a chuckle at Saya's uncharacteristic display of shyness.
そんなこと、僕は全然気にならないよ。君の声が聞きたい。
Aww.
姿が見たい。
It's kind of sweet. After a short pause, the phone returned to my side. Please let me stay the Saya you remember.
そうか。
Aw. I started to suspect that it might be so. In the hell my eyes had made of the world, Saya alone looked normal. I thought that she was somehow unique. In truth, however, she'd probably been a different kind of unique than I had imagined. It wasn't that my senses hadn't distorted her appearance, but that she had been so unusual as to seem normal to my twisted mind. Saya's true form was something other than what I had known. Now, however, I could see her as she really was. But Saya didn't want that, and it was not for me to question the workings of her heart. I just had to accept that girls need to keep some things private.
あの日君に言おうとしてたこと、保留になってたの、覚えてる。
I slid the phone back to her. I was hoping you'd forgotten. I smiled wryly at the text on the screen, wondering if she really thought me so heartless.
忘れたりするもんか。
No one was listening, but still, it would have been embarrassing to speak the rest aloud, so this time I typed it into the phone. I would say this is far and away in my brain because, you know, it's a flip phone, you know, it's the early 2000s. But I have a flip phone and I and I do this. So what the hell? That scared me to death. Thank you for the follow. I slid the phone back through the slot. Yeah. Anytime anyone interacts with the stream, I get pelted with tweets or emojis or whatever. I could sense her trembling outside my door. I couldn't hear her or see her, but still I knew. Saya was crying. Aw.
僕は構わなかったんだよ。
Perhaps my words offered no comfort, spoken so late. Even so, I was ready. I wanted to return to my old life, true, but I would have abandoned that wish for Saya. I know that I would have gone with her, hand in hand as far as we could, even to the most forbidden places. Saya too must have known that I was prepared, and because she knew, she stopped me from saying those words. If I had spoken that oath, there would have been no going back. That is what happened indeed. I'm sorry I was a coward. Seeing the words on the screen, I shook my head.
君だけが悪いんじゃない。あの時僕に迷いがなければ、君だって勇気を出せた。そうだろう。
I was afraid of you, of how you were changing because of me.
仕方ないさ。
Saya couldn't bring herself to take everything from me, and I couldn't bring myself to give up everything for her. We were too weak to find happiness.
さやはこれからどうするんだい？
What will you do now, Saya? I'll keep searching for my dad. He'll know how to send me back to where I came from.
そうか。
Hmm.
帰りたいんだね。さやは。
I don't know how true that is. I see. You do want to go home, don't you? A short time passed with no words or messages exchanged. I wonder how many times in that brief silence yes and no changed places in her mind. Yeah. Okay. So we said yeah. Oh, this is one of the endings actually. This is this. Well, technically it's the first ending, but it's the second ending I'm going to. Storytelling wise, it's probably considered good. Experience wise, probably not for streaming. I've had to live censor so many H scenes and just weird things, you know? But I am glad I read it. I am excited to see the actual ending, which is the one I'm going to do after this one. The true ending or whatever. I'm glad there's only 3 endings to this, because it's quite long. I think this is the 4th stream for this, and each of my streams is about 3.5-ish hours, so it's quite long. When the phone finally returned, the characters on the screen seemed strangely uncertain.
そうか。お父さん、見つかるといいね。
I'll do my best. The time had come for our parting. She had chosen her path and I had given my blessing. There was nothing more to be said. This is like witnessing someone break up with their significant other, but they both still love each other.
いつでも来ていいからね。
I will, thank you. Goodbye, Fuminori. I read her final message and returned the phone to the other side.
さようなら。さや。
Aww. It's strangely sad, even though they did a lot of depraved shit together after this point in the story. She gently slapped my door in response, and then I heard the sound of her sliding off down the hallway. And I was left alone in the silence of the night. Yeah, I mean, the story is what it is. Ever since that day, I have been waiting. Perhaps Saya really did return to where she came from. Perhaps she is still wandering today looking for her father. It must be hard. She must be lonely. When she can no longer stand being alone, she will surely return to me. I am the only one who comfort her and whisper sweet nothings in her ear. I really do feel like Saya's got some weird spell over this man or anyone who sees her as like a normal being. I know it's not a spell. It's not like that. It's gotta be some kind of biological warfare, right? I need men to like spread seed, whatever the fuck her modus operandi is, and be like, so you're just going to do that for me, and I have to possess you and your will to, you know, do that. I really do feel like it's like that. It might not be. It might not be. Maybe something of that kind, because Fuminori does say that like human flesh and the smell of Saya while he's like fucked in his head are somehow soothing and comforting to him. So I think it's a good like comparison to like an aphrodisiac of some kind, like a pheromone he's smelling. I think anyway. Sorry, my phone is like going insane right now. It's making so much fucking noise. I don't know if I would consider it romance. This is kind of, this man was on the brink of losing his mind because when he woke up, the world was, you know, disgusting gore and viscera everywhere. And he saw someone who looked human and he just clung to that. And it definitely did something to his brain. I feel like there's a lot of nuance going on. If there's a lot of ways this story can be interpreted. Also, a lot of people take it at face value and are just like, oh, it's gross. It's just gross. There's nothing to be learned from this or gleaned from it at all. So no. What's it? Oh well, today today is not the 23rd or the 24th. Today is the 23rd. Yes, it is. Like a lot of Urobuchi's work, it is left to the reader to decide how they experience and interpret the story. That's kind of the point of art. We've been doing it for fucking thousands of years at this point. Okay. And so I wait, dreaming of her face and her voice. I wait. Forever in my white world. And that's that. I'm pretty sure that's the end of this ending. Hi. Nice. All right. Last ending. The real ending for Sayano Uta. Okay, so here I'm pretty sure we just choose to call Fuminori. I want to make sure because I don't want to have to repeat this shit again. See, in the final ending, call Fuminori first. Alright. I shouldn't need to go back and check this anymore. Okay. It's time to finish this. Just as he promised earlier, Koji calls Fuminori again. The call goes through immediately. Fuminori must have been waiting for it. So we just forego the entire scene that happened at the diner with Ryoko.
どこだろうと関係ないだろう。
As soon as Koji responds, a shrill ringing fills the house. Startled, Koji spins around and looks into the hallway. The house phone is flashing to signal an incoming call.
なるほど。やっぱり僕の家に来たか。
Well then. Koji fell for it. Fuminori is the one calling the house, and now he knows where Koji is. He must have predicted that this would be Koji's first stop, and that Koji would call him upon finding it empty.
じゃあもう見られちゃったんだろうね。いろいろと。
ああ。
Koji keeps his voice bold to conceal his horror. When did Fuminori become so cunning?
しばらく会わないうちにえらく悪食になったらしいな。
That's
一体
one
今
way
日
to
まで
put
何
it.
人殺した？
That's a terrible thing to say. Even as a jab.
いや、僕はまだ一人だけ。でも、解体だけなら3、4人ってとこかな。かなり慣れたよ。剣を切ったり血抜きしたりとか。
This is akin to describing how to like skin and deconstruct an animal. It's just kind of what it feels like. He's just talking about it so nonchalant. Koji no longer feels sadness or horror when faced with Fuminori's inhumanity. There is only the cold desire to kill the creature speaking such revolting words with his friend's voice.
貴様、近江を殺したな。知らないっていうのは嘘だな。
I've been pummeled again. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Yeah.
どうなんだろう。
Okay.
正直言うとね、最初に食べたのがもしかしたら近江だったかもしれないんだ。ちょうど彼女が消えたその日だし。
Oh, they've gone. They're on a mission, apparently. If they're following every VTuber, they've got a lofty goal set for themselves. My goodness. Hmm.
いや、誰の死体かなんてわからないありさまだったからさ。
Koji had already abandoned hope, but it's still a shock to hear his lover's brutal end. Yeah.
つくばもか。
いや、彼女はちゃんとここにいる。僕だってバカじゃない。彼女は取引の材料なんだろう。むざむざ捨てたりしないさ。
Yeah. He's gonna be trekking along for a while, for sure.
声を聞かせろ。
それはちょっと無理かな。口を聞けるような状態じゃないから。
Is this... Fuminori's dismissive words further sharpen Koji's bloodlust. Is this the part where she's like sucking his dick? Because if it is, I'm going to censor it right now.
言ったはずだぞ。彼女を無事に解放しないなら。
You forgot what I said. Don't let her go
生きている
unharmed.
だけでもよしとしてくれよ。
Be happy she's alive. Mm-hmm,
完
mm-hmm.
全に死体になったようが欲しいかい。
Would you rather have Yo as a corpse? Ugh.
確認するがコージ。お前は集めた資料のすべてを証拠ともども持ってこい。その内容を見て納得できたら僕らはよう引き渡す。
Says, bring your evidence along with all the files you've gathered, and I'm satisfied that they're the real thing. I'll hand Yo over.
いいだろう。
Fine. It's obvious that this deal is a sham. In all likelihood, Fuminori is planning to kill him and bury his secrets forever. Moreover, Koji doubts that Yo is even alive. Her meat could very well be somewhere in the refrigerator right in front of him. However, Koji isn't particularly interested in Fuminori's true intentions. After all, he has no intention of making a trade either. His only goal is to get close enough to destroy Fuminori and whatever is pulling his strings. Of course I have tails. I am a fox. I have all of the tails.
場所は。
お前が僕を尾行してきた大貝教授の家、覚えてるだろう。今夜7時にそこで落ち合おう。
Going back to the doctor's house, I guess. Alright.
おい。
Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response. Perhaps Fuminori too has sensed his opponent's intent. If so, then he has realized that Koji is not just the hunted, but the hunter as well. Yes, I have learned. The first two VODs for this got fucking deleted because there was just straight up sex happening on my screen. So we're like duelist maneuvering for advantage. Koji smiles grimly as he pockets his phone. It's astounding how much their relationship has changed. The question is whether or not to comply with the 7 o'clock rendezvous agreement. If this were a serious negotiation, then it would be wise to avoid preempting Fuminori in any way that could provoke his anger. What Koji and Fuminori are really doing, however, is trying to lure each other into a deadly trap. Okay, I think we're safe. I'll move out of the way. I think we're okay. In the first run through of this, there was just fellatio happening on my screen after that conversation ended, so yeah. Koji doesn't know what Fuminori plans to do between now and then, and he's not about to let his enemy keep the initiative. The fierce bloodlust that has taken root in his heart is more than enough to energize his exhausted body. Koji leaves the death-filled house, his stride more determined than before. Oh. I mean, I am. It's just that sometimes the VODs don't get to stay on Twitch and they have to get, edited and thrown on YouTube instead. Because I didn't catch all of the sex scenes or all of the naked people or whatever. I get that reaction a lot from like my clips that get posted. It's like, who the fuck is playing this game right now? I got it. I got it during Jast's like winter sale, I think, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna play this for stream. Anyway. Today was the first time I've driven since the accident last summer. The proposition was always too dangerous to consider given my inability to recognize roads and cars. Things have changed, however, in the 3 months since I've had to adapt to my condition. I know what cars and pedestrians look like now, and even though I can't exactly see colors, I've learned to decipher lights and turn signals. Still can't read street signs, of course. Nevertheless, I managed to make it safely to our destination with Saya and Yo in the back seat. It was Saya who came up with the idea for our new hideout, an abandoned building she discovered while living with Dr. Ogai. Okay. In these hilly suburban residential areas, it's not hard to find thick patches of underdeveloped forest just off the beaten path. Saya's old playground is located in one such secluded area, unaffected by the flow of everyday life. It used to be a privately operated sanatorium hidden among the silent trees. After the owners went bankrupt, it remained unsold and was eventually forgotten. After I left Saya and Yo at the hideout, I returned to town to make some preparations. Now I'm finally back at our new refuge. No good Pokemon have been spawning today. Ugh. I liked this ruin from the moment I saw it. Mountains of construction materials and garbage litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. This place looks even less likely to receive unwanted attention than our house. Since my brain sees humans as revolting monsters, places they've been tend to stink or seem covered in filthy slime. Ruins like these, long empty of life, are the places I find the most restful.
Tadaima.
I call out to let them know I'm not a stranger and then go down to the basement where they are hiding.
おかえりなさい。車平気だった？
もう全然問題ない。一方通行の標識もどういうのか分かったし、スピードさえ出さなければどこを走っても大丈夫だよ。で、そっちは？
一通り調べたけど、やっぱりあれからずっと人が来た様子はないみたい。ここは安全だよ。
そうか。ならいいんだけど。
I'm a little worried that this abandoned building could become a hangout for biker gangs or homeless people.
多分表に積み上げてあるゴミのせい。あれ普通の人間にはちょっと耐えられないんじゃないかな。
Probably. Doesn't bother me at all. I rather like it in fact, but of course normal people would feel differently.
で、ふみのりの買い物はいいの見つかった？
ああ、もちろん。
I remember seeing this scene for the first time. I was like, why the fuck is this axe covered in gore? And then I realized, oh, it's just like par for the course, I guess. It's just how it is. I proudly unwrapped the weapon I just bought from the camping goods store, a 1 meter long wood axe, the biggest and sturdiest I could find.
刃渡り15センチ以上のナイフは銃刀法違反だなんて張り紙してあるのに、 その隣でこんなもの売ってるんだよ。お笑いだよね。
Again, as I said last time, one hopes that you are buying this to cut wood and not murder people. Yeah, I know. I know that's how he sees it. It's just kind of funny that it looks like this. Because it still looks like an axe, right? I grip the axe with both hands, testing its dependable weight, then swing it like a baseball bat. Ooh. The deadly steel blade sweeps through the air right where a person's neck would be. Yo, who sprawled out on the floor, flinches at the sound and curls herself into a ball. We don't see this woman, do we? Okay, it's Saya.
切れ味とかどう？イオで試してみたら？
So having learned how these creatures like skin and structure is like really malleable, so like knives and shit probably ain't doing anything to them. This is still a fucked up thing for Saya to suggest. Even if Yo would definitely probably be okay, because she's basically whatever Saya is now, I still think it's wrong. I still think it's so wrong for her to say this.
いや、それはちょっと。
Definitely wasn't expecting Saya to suggest anything so brutal.
心配いらないよ。今のようの体だったら、刃物とかの傷は割と簡単に治っちゃうから。
Well, after reading like the doctor's like diary or whatever the fuck you want to call it of like documenting Saya as an organism, supposedly they don't have like emotional depth. So this is like a walk in the park for her. She's like, let's test it on this person. And that's totally fine. I feel nothing saying that. Yeah, she does say that her body can heal from cuts and shit, but it's still very cruel.
いや、それにしたって痛いだろ。
そっか。うん、そうだね。
Probably. Yes. Yes, she does. It must have slipped her mind completely. She smiles at the oblivious Yo as if to hide her embarrassment, then says,
でもさ、痛くされた時のようの声って、それはそれで可愛いよね。
いや、やっぱり人間に斧で切りかかるってのは気が引けるよ。
I feel like this is a poor choice of words as well for Fuminori, because, like, Saya's not a person either.
そうなの？じゃあ、コウジさんは？
そりゃだって。
Should be obvious, but I guess that Saya still doesn't understand.
やつは僕には人間に見えないから、切ろうが潰そうが平気なもんさ。
So this kind of just means, you would think, this means that he would just kill Saya if he could see her for what she is, essentially. Yeah, that incredulous look on your face. Very, very telling look on your face right there.
そうさ。
Oh,
人間には良心があるからね。
I am in the wrong screen. There we go.
どんなに憎い人間だろうと、人を殺すと思うとブレーキがかかるもんだ。そこが僕の称賛でもある。
本当に？
No. Still got a bit of naivete in you as well, sir. Saya seems awfully subdued. I guess she's concerned about what'll happen when I have it out with Koji.
体格じゃあいつが上だし、普通に喧嘩したんじゃ勝ち目は薄いかもしれないけどね。
I don't think you
でも、
win regardless.
僕にとっての化け物退治が、あいつにとっては人殺しなんだ。こいつは大きいよ。あいつはきっと、最後の瞬間で隙を見せる。
なんだか不安なんだよね。そういう心理戦っていうの。 確実じゃないっていうか。
In fact. She raises her head and looks straight at me.
ねえ、やっぱり私が買った方が良くない？
I appreciate Saya's consideration, even though it could be interpreted as a lack of faith in me. She's still putting my safety above hers. No, I think she's just stronger than you in general, and she could just handle this. But whatever, be a guy or whatever, swing your dick around. Nevertheless, I can't accept her heartfelt suggestion.
サヤの腕力だとさ、ヨウみたいな女の子なら楽にねじ伏せられるだろうけど、男を相手には厳しいと思うんだ。
Better memory. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna read that. I still think that given the opportunity to take her prey by surprise, Saya is in fact able to overpower them, because the sensation of slimy tentacles touching you is either going to gross you the fuck out to the point where you lose your mind like instantly, or you're going to take off running and you're not going to turn around to see what the fuck was touching you. So one way or the other, something positive-ish is happening for Saya here. But this happened because she walked up to him and was like, "Hey dude, how do I look to you?" So she fucked with this man's brain and then wanted to make sure that she looked human to him. And when I said at the time that this happened, I don't know if dude was always like this, or if it just had something to do with his brain breaking or whatever, that he did this to her. I don't know. All I know is he's a pile of blood on the floor now, and that's all that really matters in this situation. And Saya could definitely have killed him otherwise. But walking out in front of someone and going, "Hey, do I look like a pretty girl to you?" with someone with an unstable brain might be a terrible idea. Yeah. It's just a bad idea.
でもね、あのおじさんも最初の不意打ちはうまくいったの。
Yeah, see?
大抵の人間はね、作用を見たら力が抜けて動けなくなっちゃうんだよ。
Like when she was fucking with people in the hospital?
病院だってそうだった。平気で話しかけてきたのって文則だけだよ。
Yeah.
まあ、それも一理あるかもな。
Can't imagine it personally, but I suppose it's possible that Saya's appearance is shocking enough to make someone lose their nerve. Suzumi was able to gain the advantage because he had the same condition as me, which let him see Saya as a cute girl. Fear doesn't necessarily make people weaker, however. Depending on the situation, it can send someone into berserk rage and make them harder to put down. In other words, such a tactic would be some sort of gamble, the same sort of gamble that Saya's worried about.
じゃあさ、サヤ、こういうのはどうだろうか。
When I tell Saya the new plan that just popped into my head, her gloomy frown turns into a bright smile.
それめえやん。文則って頭いい。
Indeed. Or something.
何もそこまで。
It's not exactly a great plan, but I guess the fact that it lessens the risk to me is enough to excite her. She's so easy to please, but that's part of what makes her cute. I hate that he discounts Saya so much. She's super smart, and she could definitely kill anyone she really wanted to, so...
で、いつ頃来るの？浩二さん。
今朝あれから電話があってさ、とりあえず関係ない場所に誘い出してある。少しじらしてやろうと思ってね。
やっぱり暗くなってからがいいよね。
I was gonna say I'd like to skip through this to get closer to like the ending, because I've gone through all this already. But I still have an hour to stream, so I can just go through it. Fuck it.
ああ。頃合いを見計らって、ここに誘い出して仕留めよう。ここなら誰にも気づかれないからね。
せっかく人間一人分の肉が仕入れられるのに、ここだと腐らせちゃうね。冷蔵庫ないし。
I don't mind. I don't dislike the story. As long as there's no random H scenes, which I think there's one. I think there's one that I have to remember where it is so I can censor it.
他の動物を誘う餌にできないか？野良猫とか。
それ危ないよ。万が一取り逃した時、よそに持っていかれて他人に見つかったら大騒ぎになるよ。
I mean, I do get jump scared every time. But last time I was like, surely there's about to be a sex scene, and sure enough there was. So I've gotten okay at kind of identifying where they're coming from.
そっか。
Mm.
それもそうだ。
Humans are extremely dangerous, and their filthy, stinking bodies make me sick just by being near. Ironically, however, nothing tastes better than their meat. I truly regret having to abandon our well-stocked fridge.
まあ、この辺だと森にもいろいろと住んでるから、そんなに食事には困らないんじゃないかな。
3人分だよ。大丈夫かい？
So I assume they're just feeding Yo human meat also, since she doesn't really speak at all, so.
任せて。これでもさや、狩りは得意なんだから。頑張っていっぱい捕まえてくるよ。
そうか。じゃあ、今日からはさやが一家の大黒柱だな。
へへ。
Saya giggles happily at my praise. I find these childish qualities of her adorable.
今度はどのぐらいのんびりできるかな。
Oh, right, yeah, no. Because of the casual way she says it, I almost miss the emptiness to which her question leads.
どのぐらいかな。
Obruxious? Gross. Saya's right, this won't last forever. No matter how safe this hideout might seem, we will have to abandon it eventually. The slightest mistake could put our life together in jeopardy, just like when I failed to silence Koji. Some dumb kids might decide this old ruin is a good place to test their courage, or this land might be targeted for new development. In order to be together with Saya, I have chosen to live apart from society. We will never find lasting peace in this world teeming with humans, not unless we can somehow escape from it.
長い旅だと思えばいいさ。
Bruxious is a shitty Pokemon.
どうせ人生なんて旅みたいなものなんだ。永遠に変わらない時の流れを見送るか、自分自身が流れていくか、それだけの違いだよ。
そうだよね。
Saya smiles softly, perhaps in resignation, perhaps in sadness. Either way, there is peace and contentment in her expression.
それでも一人ぼっちじゃないし。だからさやは寂しくなんかないよ。
ああ。
I have no regrets. As long as I can hold Saya in my arms, I will gladly pay any price.
それにね。いつかは私たちが人目を忍んで暮らさなくてもよくなる日がきっと来るよ。
That's not an ominous
それは
statement.
約束してあげるから。
It's not an ominous statement at all. It's totally normal, something a girl would say. One day I'll rule the world. Totally. I'm into it. Sounds like a fairy tale, but for some reason she seems absolutely certain.
それは明日かもしれないし、ずっと先のことかもしれない。いつ印が来るのか私にもわからないの。初めてのことだから。
That just turned into like an ominous statement.
ほんのちょっぴり怖いんだけどね。
I have no idea what Saya's prosthetic words mean, but this isn't the first time that she's said or done something mysterious. She's performed any number of miracles already.
僕らにも 希望があるのかい？
Let's hope.
うん。
If that's how you want the story to end, at least.
きっとそれがさやが文則に送ってあげられる最後のプレゼント。さやの最初で最後の務め。
You know what? You might be onto something. Okay, we're at the Yokai house. This is something I haven't experienced yet. Oh, let's see how much non-ad space we have. Oh, we had ads already. Okay. That's good. Either way, I'm gonna BRB real fast because it's been 2 hours of sitting here. And I've been drinking coffee the entire time. So give me a second. It's time. We're back in Koji's perspective. Koji has nothing to do but wait. He has spent almost half a day in the dark, empty study, breathing stale air choked with mold as he strains his ears for the slightest hint of movement below. Few people could endure such a vigil, but Koji has accomplished this without complaint. If anything, the suffering is welcome, for it keeps his nerves honed to a razor's edge. Without a doubt, his single-minded focus is the only thing allowing him to push the limits of his stamina. Koji understands this and embraces the pain. I have water, but my tumbler is still full of coffee. I can get water, though, if I am requested to do so. Hear me out. Are you going to show me a picture of Saya? Sorry, that was very rude. I can go get a bottle of water, I guess. Sorry, every time I hear the words "hear me out," I expect something just terrible to follow. Yeah. All right. I will grab water. I have secured water. But no, I won't hear you out on that one. Sorry, bro. Okay. Plus, his friend has shattered his world like glass, and now Koji feels only hate towards the madness that has replaced it, and toward himself for allowing it to happen. Self-loathing is more reliable source of willpower than any faith or resolve, no matter how noble. That's pretty true. Yeah, I think you have to be a little insane. Definitely. Teetering on the edge. Also, she's a very slimy creature from what I can tell, so I'm not sure I could handle that texture-wise. Ugh. When he arrived at Ogai's house, Koji snuck in carefully, hoping to perhaps take his enemy by surprise. I know you're joking, don't worry. It was only after he got inside that he realized the house still abandoned. Even so, Koji was sure that Fuminori would arrive earlier than promised in order to set up an ambush. He just lied to you, it's fine. However, the light streaming through the windows turned red, then faded to darkness with no sign of anyone coming. Koji's patience has grown weaker and weaker by the moment. And now the appointed time has arrived. Phone noises. Just as Koji's frustration is about to peak, his phone begins to vibrate and flash. It's from Fuminori. He's calling rather than show up himself. Rage threatens to overwhelm him for an instant, but Koji manages to keep his voice calm as he answers.
どういうつもりだ、Fuminori?
いやね。まさか待ち伏せなんていう無駄なことをして神経すり減らしてないか。お前のことが心配になってさ。遅くなったが、そろそろ本当の待ち合わせ場所を教えておかなくちゃと思ってさ。間に合ったかい？
Yeah, probably.
ふざけた真似を。
まあ怒るなよ。当然の用心だろ。
Fuminori laughs with unrestrained malevolence, as though to emphasize that he's seen through Koji's plans.
お前が大貝教授の家まで来てるんなら、そこからほんの少し先、歩いて行ける距離の場所だよ。僕とヨウはそこにいる。
Indeed. Yeah. I do love the character of Saya. That's one on my list of things to maybe do, but I know for fucking sure that can't be streamed. A lot worse things happen, I think, in Euphoria than they do in this game, even though the level of depravity here is palpable. No, I'm not that crazy. I know what's in Euphoria. I mean, I knew it was in this also. But this is much easier to manage as far as censoring things live goes. I feel like in Euphoria, I would not have the chance to do that. Like, ever. Or it would just be me in front of the screen the entire time reading. So it wouldn't be fun to watch. I don't even know if this is fun to watch, really. But it is funny when I freak out about a sex scene showing up in my stream. Yeah. Oh, shit. No, I think, depending on the community poll I've put up for the next BN we're covering, I don't think it's gonna be anything like this. Yeah. So I won't have to worry about censoring, at least. But after that, I might buy Totono, because I wanna read it, and it's on sale right now. So I might buy Totono, and we might cover that. I don't know exactly what's in there, but I know that there's probably some stuff that needs to be censored, so... Euphoria is one of those I'd have to read on my own. For sure. Oh, it's you and me and her is the English name. The community just calls it Totono because of how long it is. Yeah. There's a couple like that. Wanted to cover that one and Wonderful Every Day and oh yeah. I still haven't actually played Doki Doki Literature Club, so I can't compare it to it, so I did hear that though, whenever I was watching a video. I think August Hale posted a video where he kind of like briefly talks about it but doesn't spoil a lot, so you still have, you know, stuff to see when you play it yourself. But yeah, he did definitely point out that there is a small comparison to be made. Yeah, he is the VN goat. Abso-fucking-lutely. You can blame most of me reading visual novels for stream purposes on him. Also, nobody really does this. It's not a super entertaining form of VTubing, but I enjoy the conversations it sparks and stuff. Plus, I get to read Sayonara, so it works out. Yeah, that's fair. He definitely hypes up a lot of them. I definitely want at some point to cover Cyanotype Daydream, and it's only on Steam, so I assume it's censored as well. Anything you buy on Steam is going to be censored, generally. Oh, a Baneri has showed up. I was looking into buying that because it's on sale right now. I was thinking about it. I don't know if I could stream that one. Assuming the subject matter is what I think it is, at least.
まずは車に戻ってカーナビを見ろ。ところ番長教えてやるから。
今度こそ信用できるっていう保証は。
疑わしければ来なくていい。尻尾を巻いて逃げるがいいさ。
What a jackass. Fuminori hangs up immediately after speaking his challenge. Koji leaps out of his chair and kicks it across the room, unable to find any other outlet for his rage. He has no choice but to do what Fuminori says. His stamina is already exhausted, only his obsession is keeping him going. If he allows himself even a moment's rest, his fears that he'll never again find the strength to face this madness. Did you get it? I hate that it takes like 2 minutes. No! Oh, did you not do like the start thing? You have to do like the Pokis start thing so it lets you catch Pokemon. It didn't show up here though whenever you typed that. Did it show up on the actual one? It did not. How strange. You have to do the Pokis start instead if you haven't. Oh, then why didn't it let you catch it? Aw, I guess you just didn't catch it. That actually sucks. I didn't think we could really not catch Pokemon. Ah. So it literally is just RNG if you catch it or not, huh? Well, it's just like real life. It's just like real Pokemon catching. That sucks. Huh? Oh. Well, that's not great. Do I need to update my extension, or is it just the website being a jackass? Hmm. It took way too long to find. I don't see anything here, at least. Right. Oh, is your panel not loading either? Let's see here. Yeah, I caught Hatene earlier. Or Hatena earlier. But I haven't tried to catch any Pokemon since then. It might be might be something fucky going on here. I don't know. I suppose there's always a chance these things act stupid. Oh, that confused the hell out of me for a second. Oh, I see. Okay, that's fair. That'll happen. I had that happen once, and I got upset because I couldn't catch the Pokemon. Oh. Okay. That's good. Oh, I just rolled over that dialogue. Oh. Tonight is his only chance to kill Fuminori. Koji knows, of course, that his enemy is planning an ambush. Fuminori isn't going to fight fair, but then neither is Koji. With the unsteady stride of a man half asleep, Koji leaves the Yokai house and heads for his car. Oh. Only the base of these foothills have been developed for housing. The address Fuminori gave Koji is outside of that area, in the thick forest that still covers the mountain's face. Yeah. Probably not a good idea, but you know. This car's GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori, there should be an old abandoned sanatorium there. Well, if endorphins keep him going, he'll be fine, at least. It's definitely a place no one could find, not even by accident, but this next stop really will be the last. Koji drives up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighborhood behind. Even though the hands of progress are right at its doorstep, the underdeveloped forest is darker than he expected. This looks like a great place to live in secret or to kill someone and hide the body. That's true. Absolutely. Places like this, lost and forgotten, aren't only found deep in jungles and hidden valleys. Holes in the world are everywhere, even in the midst of civilization. Oh, right. I'm not on my OBS screen. I need to... There we go. Broken down gate post suddenly appears in Koji's headlights. Like a ghost rising from the darkness, it looks like this is the final stop. He rolls up to the gate and turns off the engine, giving himself to the silence of the forest. His phone starts ringing immediately. He doesn't need to check who it's from.
着いたぞ。
ああ、聞こえてた。ようこそ我が新居へ。
Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shiver of excitement shoots up Koji's spine.
中に入ってこいよ。ようも待ってる。
Fuminori hangs up without another word. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket, Koji opens the door and gets out of the car. Woof! Mountains of trash litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerators and mopeds to huge chunks of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction workers. The fact that they could get away with leaving all this stuff behind shows just how remote this place is. I still say that feels like a crime to leave a bunch of construction materials just out in the open. Oh god. This is why I use the straws. I'm gonna die. Ugh. Anyway. Maybe not in Japan. I don't know. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's a crime in Japan or not. Drinking water without a straw. I have both, but I was drinking water and it almost murdered my throat because I didn't have a straw in it. The moon is brighter than usual, allowing Koji to walk through the front yard without tripping on debris. Staying alert, he heads for the building beyond the mountains of trash. Something must be buried underneath the piles of garbage because the whole yard is filled with the sharp stink of chemicals. That's such a strange line. Even the homeless probably wouldn't come to this place. If you need to get out of the wind and rain, there are plenty of shelters more suitable. How many times has he stood like this, alone in some ominously silent place far removed from his everyday life? Sneaking into deathly quiet houses and to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. As a demon, I fear no death from any kind of threat. The houses he explored before were like freshly shed cicada shells, empty and dilapidated, but the traces of the life they had sheltered. Oh, but with. I always do that. I always skip over words. So bad at reading. This place, however, is different. A perfect ruin, its walls and pillars raising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts. With no sign at all people once lived and worked here. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and the elements have stripped it of its former shape, and now there is only death. Hey, if I'm gonna die again, it's gonna be my own hand, or a bottle of water, or whatever I choke to death on. No, don't do that. Don't curse me like that. We're in the clear anyway. There shouldn't be another one unless at the very end of this fucking game, Saya and Fuminori have sex again, and I will fucking scream. I will scream. I will. Anyway. Koji's gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. Again, this is like the third fucking time this line has been said. What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji, but how? Just as he's about to turn his flashlight on, Koji reconsiders. If he wanders around with the light on, he'll be broadcasting his exact location. That will give the advantage to Fuminori, who's probably lying in wait for him right now. He holds the light before him in his left hand, with his finger poised on the switch. In his right hand, he raises the revolver, keeping it pointed in the same direction. Now ready to fire when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly into the dark ruin. It takes a while for his eyes to adjust, but even when they do, he has only moonlight streaming through empty windows to guide him. Everything appears gray and indistant. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same conditions if he's hiding in here. There is a battle of nerves. Oh, this is a battle of nerves, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound and give away his position will lose. The rooms on both sides of the hallway are all open, some even missing their doors. Koji creeps up to each entrance, checks to make sure no one is inside, and then carefully proceeds on. The stink that he noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotting meat. It's the exact same smell that filled Fuminori's house. Ugh. It's the squish again. Koji freezes and stares down the hall. It was a wet sound that he heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through the swamp, and it came from the room at the end of the hall. Something is there, something alive. Oh, those noises. Koji creeps towards the sound, his light and gun at the ready. It now sounds like someone squeezing mud through their fingers, and as he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for a chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. As he proceeds, the strange noise coming through the cracks in the concrete walls grow clearer. Before he knows it, he's standing on the threshold. The room is filled with a thick, viscous darkness. Viscous? Yes, viscous. Okay. Just like every other room that he's passed. There is more than just darkness, however, something is there. He can hear pained breathing like that of a wounded animal and what sounds like sobbing. Sobbing?
誰だ?
Koji whispers into the darkness. Now that he's given away his position, he might as well turn on his light. For some reason, however, Koji feels that to do so would have disastrous consequences. The last time I heard her voice on the phone, she was sobbing. The wheezing suddenly stops. And then...
Koji!
I wonder who's in the room. The whisper comes out of the darkness, though not a human voice, not by any measure. It speaks some blasphemous semblance of human words. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dots in Koji's mind.
つくば?
It can't be. Yo doesn't sound like this. She doesn't smell like this.
Koji! Onegai!
Hey. But if it's not Yo, then how does it know his name? Why is it begging him for help? No, it can't be Yo. She's human, not some creature that slithers and hides in the shadows. Suppose if you're a pile of gore that slides around on the floor, you might be in pain constantly. The thing wriggles closer. His reason cries out, imploring him to switch the light on before it's too late, or turn and run if he cannot. But Koji is unable to make either choice. He can only call out in vain to the amorphous shape in the darkness.
つくばなのかなおい。
すいません。お願い。殺して。
Something soft and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Ugh. I hate this. What? No. Ah. That's vile. Oh my. No, I get it. That made me cry a little. Instinct overrides his will, forcing him to turn on his light and shine it at his feet. Flashbang! The white beam reveals everything, the merciless truth that finally shatters Koji's sanity. I suppose that's fair. You have to be friends with someone for at least a day before you say some shit like that. Or at least know of them, I think. Terror wipes his mind of all but 2 words, gun and trigger. His finger responds with instant obedience. There is an explosion of light and sound, both more intense than he anticipated, and then the destructive forces are swallowed up by the darkness. His ears are still ringing from the bang, but he hears a weak voice coming from the shadows. Koji screams and pulls the trigger again and again, certain that salvation can come only from the barrel of his gun. Light and darkness, explosion and silence. They dance before him 3 more times. Koji doesn't even need to aim. The horrible creature is right at his feet. Far too close to miss. Ryoko warned him how many bullets were left in the gun. That information has already been driven from his mind. That's empty. I hear the clicking. It's empty. Yeah. Yeah. I can say that. Even after the cold, heavy gloom wraps itself around him once more, Koji keeps pulling the trigger like a man possessed, paying no heed to the clicking of the empty weapon. If this is how people meet me, the tone is set, you know? To expect anything less or more would be... Well, I can just blame whoever. It's not my fault. It's true. I say that. What have I got scheduled for tomorrow? I don't even remember my fucking schedule at the moment. Oh, right. Tomorrow I'm playing fucking Happy's Humble Burger Farm, the fucking McDonald's horror game ripoff. Literally, totally different type of game. But what do you expect? Cyanota can only exist for so long before you finish it. Anyway, let's get through this climax. My time's almost up, so I just need to finish it. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, sending him down hard on his backside. Even then, he keeps firing an empty gun. He knows no other way to erase the memory of the thing that he glimpsed in the beam of his flashlight. The light, which fell from his hand during the attack, is now pointing in the different direction. And though all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last card to play. That's true. You could have. You could have. But I don't know how happy it would have been. I fucking hate that game. The first the first session I played it, I spent like 45 minutes raging. It was good. It was good content though. For real, for real. Which leaves him alone in the darkness with no way to defend himself, and just as he realizes this, a mass of rotting flesh rolls over him like a tidal wave. She do be screaming. He can no longer even scream as the thing pushes him onto his back. With fear seizing his throat and an iron grip, Koji struggles desperately against the monster as it crawls up his body towards his face. Covering his face with his left hand, he scrabbles wildly along the floor with his right, searching for a way out that doesn't exist. His mind is that of a feral animal, empty of anything but primal terror. No, not yet. And that is why, when his right hand closes around something hard at the last moment, he recognizes it instinctively as a weapon. Putting every ounce of strength into his arm, Koji swings the heavy object at the creature on top of him. He hears a thud of a blunt object striking something soft and wet, and then Koji's attacker rolls off him. As soon as he's able to move again, Koji leaps to his feet and grabs the new weapon with both hands, brandishing it like a charm to ward off evil. Only now does he realize he's holding a rusty steel pipe. The monster is still sobbing. With a cry that is part scream, part roar, Koji raises the steel pipe and brings it crashing down on the cowering creature. He hears a wet sound and feels the blood-chilling sensation of its thick, soft flesh absorbing the blow. These combine to evoke an instinctive loathing that wipes his mind of all but the urge to destroy. Oh, I wonder if she's gonna die now. Consumed by the same desperation with which he kept firing the empty gun, Koji rains blow after blow down on his enemy. After the 10th blow, it stops sobbing. After the 20th blow, it stops moving. And after the 30th blow, it begins to feel and sound more like he's beating a puddle of viscous liquid. Koji doesn't stop thrashing the creature until he recovers enough of his senses to realize that whatever it might have been, it is now nothing but a corpse. I like how my model's mouth didn't move through any of that. The pipe in his hand, covered in unidentifiable fluids and filth, suddenly feels unbearably heavy. 20 years of memories in the light of the sun, if they were indeed precious to him, then he should have never come to this place. The black flames of despair rise within him, consuming fear and revulsion and pity. Only rage and hate remain. Every cell in his body cries out for vengeance, for the blood of the man who poisoned him with truth and tore him from the womb of innocence. Yeah. And then Koji, slave to hate, hears the sound of someone sneaking up behind him. Koji whirls, swinging the pipe with all the force he can muster. His enemy hastily leaps back to avoid the strike, surprised by his failure to catch Koji off guard. Twisted shadows dance in the beam of light on the floor. Oh. Dude, that'll never happen. It would be amazing to see, but it'll never fucking happen. It would be very interesting to see how they would just adapt it in general. I feel like Saya's design would have to be changed a bit. You know, I suppose you never know. All the shows I watched when I was younger have gotten rebooted or remade. So, shit I thought would never happen has definitely happened. So yeah, I suppose it could maybe. Ugh. I haven't watched Redo of a Healer, but from what I've heard, I have no interest in watching Redo of a Healer. So, yeah, we did get Needy Streamer Overload. And we're getting Needy Streamer Overdose anime adaptation, so that's happening. Which, I don't know, maybe it's bad and I just got terrible endings when I played. Because I couldn't get, like, the good endings. I kept getting the endings where, like, Ame would leave me. So, if there's shit in there that's, like, H scenes or anything like that, I definitely did not encounter them. I know there's a lot of mental health stuff in that game, obviously. People were mad at it at some point, I think. For, like, glorifying it, I think. I don't really get that vibe off of it. But it is what it is. People will bitch about anything. But a Saya anime would be... It'd be rough to adapt, I think. If anything. Even if, you know, they cut all of the H scenes out, it would still be rough to adapt. I feel like it would do really bad in the West also. Just really bad. Readying his pipe for the next blow, Koji faces off against his second attacker.
Sakisaka. Fuminori.
He sounds so ingy. He sounds so ingy. Oh. Before this moment, Koji could have never imagined that he would ever speak his friend's name with such hatred. I hate that face. That face is awful. Even now, Fuminori is smiling, as though the huge axe in his hand is a sick joke.
正直なとこ、お前はもう少し迷うもんだと思ってたんだけど。
迷うだと？俺が？貴様に？
Koji sneers too, unable to retain his contempt for the notion.
貴様、近江をどうした？筑波に一体何をした？それを考え。
そいつは言いがかりのつけ方が逆だろ、コウジ。
Fuminori growls, looking sadly at the pile of dead flesh at Koji's feet.
コウジの分際で僕の世をひどい目に遭わせやがって。世の10倍は痛めつけてから殺してやる。覚悟しろ。
The blade of Fuminori's axe carves a murderous arc through the darkness, glittering menacingly in the faint light coming from the floor. Koji raises his pipe to block the ferocious swing. The heavy impact numbs his arms, but his large frame takes the blow without giving any ground. Fuminori presses the attack, delivering a second blow and a third. His axe, designed for chopping down trees, is deadlier and more durable than the piece of pipe Koji found discarded on the floor. Each strike Koji blocks sends chunks of rust flying from his makeshift weapon. Aww. It's being very rude to you. He cannot win as long as he's on the defensive. He needs to create an opportunity to attack.
Come on!
Koji blocks the crushing downward swing, then pushes back hard before Fuminori can pull away, throwing him off balance. Fuminori stumbles backwards and plants his feet to steady himself. Taking advantage of his opponent's temporary immobility, Koji delivers a punishing low kick to Fuminori's outer thigh. Fuminori grunts and retreats, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji from following up with another attack. Koji, however, does not press his advantage, just stands where he is, calmly spearing Fuminori with his stare.
お前、喧嘩に慣れてねえな。
That's that fucking noise. Fuminori roars and comes in for another attack, but the damage to his right leg seems to be slowing his swing. Easily blocking the axe with his pipe, Koji waits for Fuminori to exhaust himself. Fuminori delivers a heavy blow, howling savagely all the while. What he does not realize, however, is that the situation now favors composure, not brute force. Fuminori raises his axe high for yet another attack. Koji sees that his movements have grown dull enough. Seizing the opportunity, at the moment, Koji charges into Fuminori's range and grabs... There's a typo right here. There is a typo here. Grabs the shaft of the axe with his left hand. Unless the word haft is a real word and I'm just crazy. I'm pretty sure there's just a typo right here. Interrobang! As Fuminori recoils in fear, Koji swings his pipe hard at his enemy's unprotected side. He feels a crunch of ribs breaking. Pain drives Fuminori to his knees. Staring down at Fuminori's defenseless head, Koji, surprised by his own lack of emotion, raises his pipe high to deliver the finishing blow. Which is when something wraps itself around his left ankle. The instant Koji panics at the unexpected sensation, something soft yet strong winds itself around his right leg and drags him to the floor before he can resist. He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at an unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand too is seized by the same flexible force. He wasn't able to feel it through his pants, but now his blood turns to ice at the cold, slimy sensation of the thing wrapped around his uncovered wrist. The monster's still alive? Fuminori says encouragingly. Even while kneeling on the floor, his face twisted in pain, he manages a terrible, victorious grin. Saya. His monster is Saya. Koji struggles desperately to free his limbs from the creature's slimy grip. But more tentacles swarm over his body, stealing his freedom of movement. Yucky. The noises! The horror has already driven Koji half mad. Just imagining the creature's appearance is enough to send him into a mindless panic. His scream is suddenly cut off as slimy appendages seize his throat. And the most deadly tentacle isn't just trying to cut off his windpipe, it's trying to snap his neck. And it's getting tighter. Yeah, the noises, they're so gross, slimy as hell. My mind, hazy from the pain, I watch as Saya feasts upon her slain prey. We've won. It was hard, and I wasn't able to do it alone, but together we have defeated our enemy. The price was steep. At least 2 of my ribs are broken, sending a sharp pain shooting through my chest every time I breathe. And then there's Yo. I didn't expect her to fall to Koji so easily. I suppose that unlike Saya, she might have been unfamiliar with how to use her new body in combat. Why would she need to know that, though? See? Even if she is resilient, there's no way she knows anything about her body. My injury must have fueled Saya's anger. Her slaughter of Koji was merciless and complete. As soon as her prey stopped moving, she sank her teeth into his vital organs and ruthlessly extinguished the last embers of life. Oof. Though her brutal, grisly actions were unbecoming of her girlish appearance, Saya's face, covered in blood and gore, was that of a victorious queen of beasts lording over her defeated foe. There was something noble and sacred about her primal ferocity that made me reluctant to disturb her. She might eat you too, motherfucker. I don't know how long I've been sitting here watching Saya feast. I nearly fainted from the pain several times. To be honest, I'm not used to violence. The wounds I suffered in the car accident were worse, of course, but these broken ribs are the most severe injury that's been deliberately inflicted upon me. Yes, she be the slay queen. You'd think Saya could show a little more concern for my condition. Koji is already as dead as can be, and there's no reason for her to be so greedy. I suddenly realized that Saya has stopped eating and she's now lying on the floor rolling side to side. Has she eaten too much? It's been several days since we've had fresh, unfrozen meat, so I understand where her enthusiasm is coming from. But still, I'm wounded here. She could give me a hand. Something's about to happen. Something's about to happen, for sure. Because I'm preoccupied with my own selfish wants, I'm slow to realize that something is wrong. Saya isn't resting. She's trembling in agony. My blood goes cold, and the pain from my broken ribs is suddenly forgotten.
Saya!
I jump up and run to her side and cradle her fallen body in my arms. Her face is pale and drenched in sweat, and her half-closed eyelids and lips are shivering like she has a fever. What's going on? Was she wounded in the fight? Could the meat she just ate have been poisoned somehow? I don't understand. All I know is that something terrible is happening.
Saya! Saya!
The only thing I can do is call her name with all my strength. Saya slowly opens her eyes and gazes vacantly into my face.
文則、ごめん。大丈夫。大丈夫だよ。ただちょっと痛いだけ。
何なんだどうしたんだサヤしっかりしろ
There's no way she's fine. It's glaringly obvious that her condition is dire. Even so, I'm the only one who's panicking. Saya's expression is serene, as though she understands everything that's happening to her. She even smiles softly up at me.
びっくりしちゃった。まさか本当にこんなに早く時が来るなんて。
I might lose Saya. The thought is unbearable. Terror and despair are quickly overwhelming me. A feeling of utter helplessness that I could not resist.
怖がらないで。昼間言ったよね。これが印。文則と私のたった一つの希望。
どういうことだよわけわかんないよサヤしっかりしてくれよ
I feel like she should have explained better when he asked her what the fuck she is. Saya answers my tearful entreaty with a smile, like that of a mother comforting her child.
さやはね、頑張るって決めたの。だって文則はさやのこと綺麗だってそう言ってくれ。
やめようよサヤ
Whatever is happening, I can't just sit by and watch as it causes Saya such agony.
もういい無茶しないでくれ何をするつもりか知らないが
ひどいな。文則、分かってよ。
Again, she should have explained. In a soft voice, she reveals her secret.
生まれるんだよ。さやと文則の子供たちが。
Whoa! For a moment, my mind goes completely blank.
そんないつの間に
私もね、びっくり。ねえ、文則。
Saya's labored breathing speaks to the terrible pain in her tiny body. Even so, she wraps her arms tightly around my neck.
外に連れてって。広いところ。空の下に。
I nod. What else can I do? If I speak, I'm afraid that I'll be unable to hold back my tears. I mustn't cry, not when Saya is facing her torment so bravely. Feels like Saya is burning up in my arms, and I fear that the terrible convulsions that shoot through her at intervals will tear her frail body into pieces. Hi! Praying for her safety, I scoop Saya up and carry her swiftly out of the ruined building. Maybe the cold night air will soothe her fever, but that hope is futile, cruelly dashed as her breathing grows shallow in her, and she moans through bluish lips.
さや、外だよ。
This bitch about to turn into a fucking dandelion. In response to my call, she opens her eyes once more. Her gaze is cloudy and unfocused. She can no longer see. Nevertheless, Saya looks at me. I can tell that she is imagining my expression where my face should be.
約束した。これが最後のプレゼント。
はい。
喜んでくれるといいな。
嬉しいよ。もちろん。
Takes every ounce of my willpower, but I manage to make my voice light and cheerful. In Saya's mind's eye, I know that I'm smiling. She won't have to see my face streaked with tears.
みのり、私を愛してくれたあなたにこの星をあげます。
It's a huge gift. It's both, apparently. Seems to be both. I'll explain that joke in a moment. Saya's whispers are weak and pained, but there is ecstasy in her voice, ecstasy and joy. Her back suddenly shifts, then bulges outward.
この世界はきっと綺麗な場所になる。さやと海のりのためだけの世界に。
And then Saya blooms. How else can I describe it? Flower petals long and wide spread from her back like the wings of a newly formed butterfly. Their brilliant glow comes from the countless tiny scales that cover each petal like particles of light.
さよならなのか。
I ask her, careful to keep the sorrow out of my voice.
違う。これは始まり。
Saya's pain must have already left her, for her expression is infinitely peaceful and content.
私と海のりの世界の始まり。
The radiant motes rise on the wind, painting rivers of light in the frozen winter sky. It is beautiful, overwhelmingly, painfully beautiful. Singing victoriously of their freedom, the shining seeds of life are released into this vast and fertile land. Their song heralds the coming of a new world and the destruction of the old. It is a boundless healing. It is an eternal blessing. We shall fill the world with our joy.
これからはずっと一緒だね。
Embracing Saya's pitifully shrunken body, I gaze into the shining sky and let my tears flow freely. Thank you for this final gift, Saya. I don't know whose perspective this is, but I'll explain that dandelion joke. Fucking Fuminori asks Saya, like, what she is at one point, and she was like, you know how dandelions grow into flowers, and then those flowers turn into seeds, and they just fly everywhere? I mean, it wasn't an incorrect comparison to herself, at least. Because it seems like that's her version of giving birth is in fact turning into a fucking butterfly, dandelion, whatever. And all of her seeds just float away into the wind. Yeah. But he was still confused at the time, because to like most people, that's like a nothing fucking answer. We're like, what do you mean you're a dandelion? Anyway. She was worried at first how long the preserved foods in the underground storeroom would last her, but now it seems that her fears were unfounded. It's the liquor she should have worried about. By savoring each drop of spiritus vodka, as though it were her last, she thought that she could make her flask hold out a little longer, but she must have been consuming more than she realized. Who can blame her? There's no way she could have gotten through this without intoxicating effects of distilled alcohol. After Ryoko chased useless emotions like hope and despair from her mind, she found herself spending the most peaceful days of her life. As resignation set in, even hate and fear left her. Now she feels only awe for what Yokai Masahiko did and respect for the depth of his intellectual curiosity. I mean, they were seeds, though. I don't know how else to describe them. They were, in fact, seeds. After all, neither she nor this world has any reason left to deny his research. Alone in the mountain cabin, Ryoko killed time by bringing order to the documents that Ogai left behind. She took the scattered, indeciphered papers and rewrote them in more readable fashion, eliminating redundancies and adding indexes and tables of contents. Ryoko did not intend for anyone to read them, of course. She knew full well how meaningless her actions were. With her reason to live gone, however, having something to divert her mind to was at least some relief. And now, at the last congratulatory drops of spiritus vodka burn their way down Ryoko's throat, all of Ogai's research lies before her in a single volume. She has finally finished transcribing and annotating the last of his writings. Enjoying the satisfaction of a pointless job well done, she idly pages through the manuscript that she just completed. I shall conclude by summarizing my theory as it currently stands. The life form that I named Saya did not appear in our universe by chance, nor even as a result of my summoning, but because of the instincts that were programmed directly into her biology. She was created to fulfill the same ultimate purpose that all life shares: reproduction. Saya and her kind procreate by spreading their seeds to other dimensions. What is the probability that they will discover a doorway to another world? Even if they succeed in doing so, the chance of that world being suitable for reproduction must have been even more minute. In order to make the most of the scant probability, evolution has granted them a certain advantage, none other than the astonishing ability that I have witnessed in Saya. To wit, they select the most prosperous life form that they encounter, take control of it. Okay, so they do in fact take control of the person that they are trying to breed with. In doing so, gain dominance over that planet's biosphere. In other words, they hijack the entire species. They do this by analyzing their target's genome, then overriding its genetic code to remake it in their own image. Saya's biology is more than capable of inducing such dramatic and widespread mutation, not manipulation. There is a slight probability that the target species will have evolved into intelligent life. This element may be necessary to gaining control of the planet's environment. Therefore, Saya and her sisters also plunder their target's culture and psychology. Her extraordinary learning ability and intellectual curiosity are likely instinctive tools that enable her to inherit the target species' entire wealth of knowledge. In fact, it may be that Saya's kind has always had its sights set on intelligent life. Perhaps they wait patiently for some foolish, extra-dimensional species to gain knowledge of other worlds, and in attempting to satisfy its curiosity, to make contact with the outer universe in which they dwell. Rather than send Saya and her kin on their dimensional journeys with only luck and their own strength to depend on, would not waiting for such a contract greatly increase chance of finding a world worthy of conquest? Just as I, having acquired the silver key, fancied myself an explorer of the unknown, how many intelligent life forms on other worlds have thoughtlessly congratulated themselves for discovering Saya's sisters? Well, yeah, she seems, in fact, to be an alien that just goes from, well, not her specifically, because of how they, like, reproduce or whatever. But they kind of just go to different places where intelligent life or any life form exists, it sounded like, and try to copulate so they can spread themselves into the world and take it over. Taken by the sudden urge to go outside for a change, Ryoko gathers up the manuscript and heads to her car, which is parked in the front yard. She has completed her self-imposed final duty. There is no longer any reason for her to remain holed up in the mountain cabin. She drives a little further up the mountain to an open place that offers a scenic view of the land below. In the early days of the change, Ryoko would often come to this spot to watch helplessly over the mutating city. The one flaw in my theory comes from none other than Saya herself. After using me to learn everything that she could about humanity, Saya should finally have been prepared to begin the last stage of her invasion. However, she never carried out her mission. Why? This man seriously said, why didn't she reproduce with me, basically, right here. I hypothesize that Saya was an irregular among her kind. It is said that the human race's intelligence has allowed us to conquer our natural instincts. Perhaps in absorbing human psyche, Saya accidentally inherited the disease that infects our entire species. What is human love really? What behavior could be more of a hindrance to the efficient propagation of a species? I am reminded of how, at the end of her studies, Saya consumed vast quantities of romantic literature from all over the world. She tried to understand romance as an integral part of the human reproductive process. As a result, she might have unwittingly neutered her own unparalleled reproductive abilities. After all, she had not known love. She had come to this world to rule it in our place and had studied humanity to fulfill that purpose. But ultimately, she could not share love with a human. Without love's blessing, Saya was unable to find the passion to fill this world with her kind. In learning all that there was to know about humanity, she herself had become hopelessly human. Weary of loneliness, she despaired of the world. How pure her maiden soul must have been. If the hypothesis is correct, then it means that I have failed as her teacher. I cannot help but feel ashamed for having spoiled such an extraordinary organism. Saya, next to Ogai Masahiko, Ryoko knows more about the entity than anyone else. No, when the young man named Sakisaka Fuminori is added to the running, perhaps she only comes in third. In the end, she never encountered the creature face to face. She would like to have met it once, though. If Ogai's analysis of Saya's psychology is correct, then it must have been Sakisaka who restored her desire to conquer the world. Perhaps as Sakisaka's chief physician, Ryoko played some role in bringing that lonely young man and Saya together, in which case she should at least have had the right to attend their wedding to the end of all weddings. I mean, yeah. She might have even charged them a matchmaker's fee. I like how Ryoko's like, I'm probably the only human left here. Gonna make fucking jokes at my own expense. I have a dream that one day my daughter will know the blessing of love. I pray that there will come a day when her heart burns with the flames of passion and her world becomes bright and joyous once more. When that day comes, Saya, your terrible, irresistible purpose will surely consume us, that your progeny may flourish. The whole world will know your love and be reborn. Ah, what wonders the future holds. I deeply regret that I must end my life before I can see that day come, but the footsteps of those who would destroy my dream grow closer by the hour. If I seal my lips in death, then their grasping hands will not reach you. Please forgive me, my daughter, for leaving you alone in this barren world. With the knowledge that you now possess, I know that you will find your own path. The radiance of your hard-won soul shall light the road ahead. Have no fear, have no doubt. March onward until you reach your answer at last. And I, Saya, will dream forever of the world that you will create. Perhaps it is the isolated environment or the mountain air. Maybe she's just more resistant to the change. Whatever the case, Ryoko has not yet become as inhuman as the creatures wriggling through the city below. She does not know exactly how many people on this planet could still be called human, but she's one of what must be only a handful of survivors who are left to watch over the end of mankind. Of course, it's only a matter of time before she changes too. Yeah. Well, as far as she knows anyway. It has been 3 days since she chopped off her right hand, which had ceased to function as anything resembling a human hand. But the itching that has spread across her entire back is growing more intolerable by the hour. She's not immune though. She's definitely succumbing to it slowly. She could not look in the mirror to see what she is becoming, but she doubts that it would make her happy. Ryoko thinks that maybe it would be best just to go to sleep here with the world spread out before her. When she awakens, perhaps she will be ready to descend the mountain and join in the city's revelries, or maybe she won't even need such resolve anymore. Whatever the case, Ryoko thinks dreamily as she licks the very last drops from her flask. Even after I stop being human, I hope I still enjoy the taste of booze. Is that the final line of this fucking thing? Is that really the final line of this? That was the final line. Honestly, yes. It's pretty based. I just wasn't expecting it. So in the end, the true ending for this is that Saya and Fuminori have children, basically, and she takes over the planet for him. Sort of, kind of, something like that. Actually, insane, by the way. Yeah. Usually it's the other way around, but yeah. She turned into a dandelion. No, it's true. It's what happened. She turned into a dandelion for this man. I don't really think I need to rate this. It's an infamous visual novel for a reason. People still read it for a reason. It's a good story. It is an interesting story. There's a lot of shit happening, and I don't know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like a rite of passage to experience the depravity of this story. It's almost reading, it's like reading fucking Oyasumi Punpun. If you read it at a certain time in your life, it hits different than just reading it offhandedly. Anyway, I'm going oh, well, sure. There are obviously, like, the Steam version of the game is heavily censored, so you don't have to worry about yeah. But since I bought mine on Jazz and it was completely uncensored, I got to experience all of it. at 1 p.m. EST, and I'm playing Happy's Humble Burger Barn or Farm or whichever one it is, and I'm gonna get fucking mad at the game, I'm sure. It is what it is. Alright. Off we go to this Death Stranding. Alright. You have 10 seconds. Prepare yourself. じゃあねー。